of a Discord server that I run myself for, of course, CurlyHairedVanguard, and sometimes we do locals in this Discord. And here are some fights from our recent one. First things first, here we're going to have Granfia versus Rotovisor here. Once I saw these in the bracket, I really wanted to try and get a game of each of these for this video, but as it turns out, they ended up facing each other, so that really helps out. They start out here having a pretty simple turn between each other in the early game here, just being able to ride up, going to their Vanguard here. The Granfia player is going to be able to ride to their Grade 2 Vanguard and get the plant token from the Grade 1, because it is the reverse of the rollover line, but they are going to be able to play the oranges and get an additional token after it's being played, because it gives you a token on place and then it gives you one in battle phase. So amass a pretty healthy board here, but the Granfia player is not able to actually push as much damage as they maybe would have liked to, considering that the Rotovisor player is able to block most of the attacks and only take a single point of damage. They're going to go ahead and ride into their Grade 2 and then search their deck for that Nova Grappler Arena card, which is going to allow them to, whenever any of their units attack, or I think it's a Rotovisor unit, I don't actually remember, but I think it's whenever any of their units attack, they can actually give it the ability that if the attack hits, they can choose to either counter charge or energy charge too, which they're going to go ahead and use the energy here, and also use the Bone Raid here to put itself into soul. Look at top 5 and search for a Grade 2 or greater unit or a set order from among them. They're going to go ahead and get that event Robust, which they can use to get another Nova Grappler Arena. The Granfia player here is going to be able to use their Nubilis token thanks to the skill of the Granfia, then Soul Blast again here to get an additional 2 tokens thanks to the Farm and Pumpkin. Then they're going to go ahead and play down the Diantha from hand, Counter Blast 1, bring back the oranges that was actually attacked into the previous turn by the Rotovisor player in order to actually be able to get another 2 tokens. One on place and another one at the start of battle, which is pretty nifty, making that Nubilis in the back row center really big. They're going to go ahead and swing here with their front row and then swing in here with the Vanguard boosted by the Nubilis token, which is probably 50 something, I don't know. They're not going to check anything aside from this front, which is really nice, but none of that momentum is going to matter thanks to this darn Overtrigger, which is going to make the Rotovisor player 100 million, and there's no way to break through that without your own Overtrigger. Sure wish the Overtrigger was only like 100,000 or something reasonable, but either way, I should say, we're going to go ahead and ride into the Granzel Rotovisor here, which is going to activate the skill of the Grade 2, which allows you to look at the top 7 for either Grade 3 Rotovisor or an Arena card, which we're, I think, going to hit the Arena and then play it from hand. Play down the Rotovisor Mechanic, I believe it's called, and then we're going to, or it's like a Fluent Mechanic or something like that, but either way, we're going to counter blast 1 here for the Bent Robust, get a Arena, the 3rd one, so we're going to be able to play that next turn. Unfortunately, we can't accelerate the playing of set orders in his deck at this moment, so we have to wait until turn 4 for this deck to really go live. Now, either way, we can actually do a lot of things here. I don't know why I keep saying neither way. I don't know what is wrong with me. Something about seeing Granfia and Rotovisor is just making my brain not work. We're going to be able to use the Bull Run here to add a card to hand, and then swing with the Event Robust and use the skill of the Nova Grappler Arena, so if this attack hits, we can go ahead and counter charge. And they're going to actually swing into the Diantha to make sure that attack hits, so they can actually get the counter charge here for the Granzel Rotovisor. After the battle that these unit attacks, you can go ahead and counter blast 2, draw 1 card, and choose units equal to the number of arenas you have in your set order zone and restand them. So now this mechanic is going to be able to swing in again, as well as this Event Robust that still has the 5k that was given to it by the mechanic. The Granfia player is able to hold off against all this onslaught here and only seem to, I think, only take 1 damage from all of that, which is pretty good. But unfortunately, I believe this list does not play Persona Ride. Otherwise, the Persona Ride would have been kind of nice here, but it is sort of a thing with this build where it's a lot more of an aggressive build and you're trying to end the game before you even need to Persona Ride as much. But since we didn't see the Rosarium Fairy or any of those early game aggro pieces that we really needed to really push, especially in that big first Grade 3 turn, we don't really get to do that, especially also thanks to the overtrigger. So things are not in favor here for the Granfia player, but they're going to be able to swing in here, hit the critical trigger, and they're able to power up that oranges as well as finally get that Rosarian Fairy. But as you see here, the Rotovisor player is going to be able to heal because both players here are at 2 damage, so that is basically going to be only 1 damage, which kind of really sucks. And they're also going to be able to get the damage buffer here, but they're going to go ahead and swing in here with the Luster Impact here, as well as Soul Blast 1 to restand it. Oh, sorry, Soul Blast 1 to draw, I should say, given the Vanguard's power. But they're going to remove the gauges to restand it and also give it 15k. They're going to go ahead and try and swing in here, put a little bit of more damage on the Rotovisor player, but that is not going to be the case. They're going to be able to guard, probably due to the little bit of advantage that they were able to get between using all of those energy cyclers and also the Bull Rinse to thin out the deck here. We're going to see a Persona Ride come through, and then we're going to see some double Bull Rinse coming through. The Mechanic's going to get 5k, and I bet Robots is going to get a nice 10k. So we got a nice distribution of power coming through here. We're going to activate the skill of one of the Nova Grappler Arenas here, so that if its attack hits, we can go ahead and either Energy Charge or Counter Charge here. They're going to actually choose to Energy Charge and then Energy Blast to draw 1 and give their Ross an additional 5k here. The Granfia player is going to have to take this, go to 4, and then we're going to see the Rotovisor come in here, Granzel Rotovisor here. And the Granfia player is actually going to be able to guard this with a 2 to pass, which is thankfully not going to get broken through due to the fact that no triggers were checked. But since we have 3 or more Nova Grappler Arenas, or I think just Arena cards in the set order zone, we can actually stand 3 units this time around. And I believe your front wall. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. I'm doing all right. I'm very tired. I did not sleep very well, and this stream's not gonna help because it might be a long one. We have like a zillion things to go over. Yes, it is I, Curly Senpai. How's everyone doing? Hey, Team Wild Cards. Oh man. I just had the weirdest pillow commercial. I did not know we had commercials for pillows, but... How are you doing, Docs? I hope this means that you have power and that everything is going well. But my nipples are very erect for some reason, but I'm thankfully wearing a black shirt, and you can't see them. I think they're just like right under where the camera cuts off, so... Stream is PG-13 safe for today. I'm doing all right. Sorry about talking about my nipples. I'm doing okay. I'm a bit tired. I don't know why, but I took like 2 days to make the slides for today's stream. And I think I've decided to, since I've taken so long, I'm going to just end up using that portion for a video. So if you guys are into that, we'll do that, but we'll see how I feel 2 hours from now or whatever. But I got electricity back Saturday night, and it was 5 days, and a tornado was confirmed 4 minutes from my house. Yeesh. You know, anybody you talking about my nipples? Okay, sure. I'll create a do one of these next time, just so you guys know I'm about to start talking about my nipples. Probably Junior in the future? I don't know. Probably not. But never say never, I guess. But I'm also not getting any younger. I don't know if that'll ever be possible. But hey, who knows? Let us. I guess we can vibe to this for a bit, since it's gonna finish in like. Actually, no, never mind. That's 3 minutes. I don't know if I can vibe for 3 minutes. That's way too much vibing. Unless I'm Benjamin Button, that'd be nice. I'm like the opposite of Benjamin Button, because instead of aging in reverse, I aged quickly. Where I've looked exactly the same as I have since, like, I want to say I was like 14 or something like that. To the point where I was 14, people thought I was like 20 something, but I've just remained the same for so far forever. We need currently branded onesies. Oh, it'd be interesting. And the first thing I heard was I'll talk about my nipples. Hey, I give warning this time. But yeah. If you had a son who wanted to become a professional Vanguard player, would you let him? I mean, yeah. I mean, if being a professional Vanguard player is an actual thing, right? It's not like a career choice that you can really do right now. Like, you can definitely do it, but you know it's not gonna pay any damn bills. So you're gonna have to do something else, buddy. But yeah, I mean, pursue your dreams, good. Yeah, if it was like as with CCG animes, that'd be nice. But it is not. Sadly, our life is not anime. It is instead real and depressing. Much like these reveals have been for some people. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not the best segue. But alright, let's just go ahead and get started. Let's most of these say stand up the headlines. So today we have ourselves the continuation of the Stride reveals as Ek goes and hides in his G-zone-less echo chamber real quick. But we're talking about the Stride reveals for Harry and the promos that were revealed from today's stream as well. When I told my guidance counselor in high school I wanted to play trading cards for a living, they yelled next. Roasted. Just eat the participation mats. I mean, that is one way to, I guess, try and get ahead in that career, huh? But we'll talk about the anime because we had the anime episode that aired. It was, I believe, I'm losing count. It should be, I think, 6 that we're up to, right? So we'll talk about that. Pretty interesting. And then we have like a million deck lists to go over from events in Japan for set 4. So all the decks that you've been curious about, the Impaldio, the Cat Girl, because I don't know how to say her damn name, Love Address, Alcalibria. We'll take a look at all those decks, all in, and see how they started shaping out in the first weekend in Japan. Just weekend. But first, we have ourselves Card of the Day. And for once, the title is accurate because it is literally Card of the Day. There's only one singular card, and that is none other than our boy. I want to say it's our boy Cristianos, but it's not really our boy Cristianos. Because this is a baby. This here, that's Cristiano's leg. If you can notice by the tassel and whatnot, that part's Cristiano's. This is not Cristiano's. That is not like a baby Cristiano's or anything like that. It's just a baby attached to Cristiano's legs, much like I would be. And it's also insane that this is the 28th promo, which is crazy to think about. Curly Jr. I mean, yeah, he does have a little curl, huh? Yeah. He's also like a Vanguard protagonist because his hair is blue, right? So watch out for that in a few years. You can just call Cat Girl Licia. Pretty easy, I guess. It's just when you put an S and a C together, like my brain doesn't know what to do with it. Impaldio and Cat Girl have gotten me good. I will be all in on them. Me as well. To be honest, I might actually be all in on all of them, but we'll see. Why does Branke get a kick-ass manga hero? We get a baby because he's the best. X Channel's mascot. It's like a magical girl anime. Hey, Click, how you doing, buddy? Does it have pink skin, pink fur, or have diapers outside of the pajama? But it is no. This is like a onesie. And then, yeah, it is a diaper outside of the pajamas, or it might be a shirt because you can kind of see like here what looks like skin. So I think that's what it's supposed to be. But pink what's it I mentioned? Yeah. Exactly. There we go. Bruce would beat me to it. I need to call my lawyers. Get on this ASAP. So we can have everyone have this hot pink with my beautiful hot pink that I learned last stream everyone fucking hates. Have that on a onesie and then sell that on like Etsy or wherever people sell
clothes. What the fuck? I finally got a Pacifica promo, and I'm not gonna play it down. I guess from the one Pacifica player in chat, the Pacifica promo is not good, but we'll get into that after we talk about Takahashi Bebe clinging to Cristianos, who is, of course, your battery is low, you stupid ass headset that I want to throw outside the window and never see ever again in my life. I hate it so much. Oh, sorry. Anywho, he's just like us, for real, clinging to Cristianos. But so our fella here has one effect, or first effect I should say. Act on Vanguard Circle, Energy Blast 3, look at the top 7, choose one card, discard it, dish off your deck. Then if your drop has 1 Blitz Order, this unit gets triple drive. If you have 4 or more, your front row gets 5k power. This is great because I was already playing Cristianos like this, so again, the Bushi Spy was aware of this. I haven't even shown my Cristianos list, but they I was mainly, I think I did show it off in one stream, right, where I was like, all right, I'm always gonna be calling stuff from drop, so I just need my hand to be guard value, so I'll play a bunch of Blitz Orders, right? And then there's a lot of cards that like somewhat work like that. Like you can play the Regalius, right, and you can, I think, play that from drop. There's that garbage Blitz Order that says if you have like 3 copies of it, it becomes like 20k shield minus to like a opponent's unit. So there's some synergy here, and it also doesn't ask for different names or anything like that, right? It's just numbers. So you get to be the Blitz Nation, apparently. Yeah. We need more Blitz to do that. We need like 1 or 2 more. Does Morpho actually find a actual home? Nope. Because this is kind of the last one, so we will not be using this Morpho in this at all. So Honey Guarding is my favorite Blitz still. Yeah, it might be more playable here. It is playable here in Cristianos, actually. It wasn't because you had no way to get soul and you needed soul for... Excuse me. You needed soul for Severin. But there is actually an easier way to get soul now, so might actually see some play. Otherwise, I've been using the, thank you very much. I've been using the like Leonorian Blitz Order. That's kind of ass, but it works out because of the way I've been building the deck. But yeah, I like how Pink just don't want to look like the pink guy in the memes. Yeah, pink guy. Yeah. I'm gonna need more than the Wine Blitz. Wine Blitz. Oh. They even tried to push Blitz on to Leverdress. Make ass, let's play Morpho. I bought 2 sets for cheap and I ended up selling them in the buyout twice. Yikes, yeah, I had those from a while back, but they're ass. But our next effect here is, click here real quick, is at the beginning of your battle phase, you counterblast 1. Choose a card from your drop and call it. If you have 4 more Blitz, you call 2. So literally you can do Cristiano stuff minus searching out Persona Right and getting 10k. Instead, you can give 5k to the front row. And you can do it for less energy cost, so you can actually maybe play Energy Cyclers or literally any other energy card, perhaps. And you can get triple drive, which I feel like would really help Cristiano since it's a somewhat 3-attack deck. You can give 5k to just Severins, but it doesn't really matter, but it's still kind of nice. And you can call stuff from drop without randomly milling 2 cards. You can actually check triggers out. So this is pretty good. Of course, it falls into that category of promos that God knows when we'll get. Because these are the legendary quick start deck boss promos that are part of Korokoro. So there's the man for Sarasarol. There's the I forgot his long ass name, but like the black Astrum guy YouTuber thing for Astrum. And then there's a Cristianos one. We'll have to see what the Osagais, the Trime Dragon, which is I feel like that one will be next, and then the you know, they gotta do Dragon Empire, right? That's all they give. And then the lyrical one, the Marlene one, we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, who knows when we'll actually get these. I don't want this. I want it. I need it desperately. Best baby, let's go. Absolutely. I don't want to. This will show up in March 2025. Yikes. That is hella yikes if it shows up that far away. But with that, let's get into the meat. Let's get these stride reveals. Let's feed these
G kids
their food real quick. Calling it now. So if I will introduce a card that will cards to shove the grade 3s into soul. So if I ever attack Cristiano, the answer won't to be a thing. I mean, that would be nice because we already have so many cards to like put them back into deck, right? And there's pretty easy ways to soul blast it out. So if we can actually search it in the early game, right? I think that's the key issue. If I could use it early instead of having to waiting until Cristianos to search out my Cristianos, it would be nice. But yeah, we also just need more versions. Unfortunately, if we could just get more targets, right, for all those cards that say look at top 5 or whatever, if we just get more targets, then that would be really nice. So the cards would be a little bit more playable. I feel like probably use it for Zorga. Last we're gonna play a newbie using the Marlene deck with only a few cards added, and it costed all energy blast. Yikes, that's not gonna work. But before we get into the area reveals, we have ourselves, speaking of the quick start deck bosses, we have ourselves here Horthy Parage. Horthy Parage. Interesting name. But this is going to be part of the promos for, I think for Japan it's in September. It might be in October, which means we might not get these till like maybe December or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Peerage, right? Yeah, it's porridge. So this is just the same as the ones that we got before for Sarasal, Triumph Dragon, and Marlene, right? In the previous promo pack before these, we got 3 of them. We should be getting the next 3, and they all have the same first effect where they're specific quick start deck boss. If it's the Vanguard and you ride it, I should say, if you ride your quick start deck boss, if you have this card in drop and you don't have a copy of this card on rear, you Soul Blast 1, call this out, and you can energy charge 1, which is dope. Because these decks, you know, heavily rely on energy, and they have really no way to get for the most part. She is indeed serving, and you are indeed eating. But we're just good. This promo is so good, indeed it is. Another thing to note for the Koro magazine promos, all those alternative monsters are references to the magazine's currently sterilized manga. Does copyright might prevent us from getting them at all. Yep, exactly. Which is why I don't even I've been thinking of updating the tier list to include them, but I was just like, I'm never gonna play these. Why depress myself? But I might do it just to look at baby Cristianos, or baby attached to Cristianos. But then she also has an ability that says at the end of the battle, this unit boosted your Tilligan. You can put 2 Vanguards in the same column into Soul, draw 1, then choose a card from drop and put into Soul. So this is Soul plus fucking 4. Or no, Soul plus fucking 3. Because she puts herself and Tillian into Soul. Then she takes a card from drop, puts it into Soul, and she lets you draw. I don't know if Tillian's effect to draw has to be when he's played from Soul. Because if not, you can very easily draw a bunch of cards with this deck. Because Tillian's effect was already to draw, right? Is Tillian's draw on place, or is it on place from Soul, from like Ultrageist's effect or whatever? This is easy for him. Easy for him. When put into, whoops. Oh, I don't have a copy. I fucked up. I didn't put all the effects together in one slide. That's how you know I'm out of it today. When put from Soul into rear, even better. Even freaking better. So yeah, that's just dope. We just need a way to like call her out mid-battle somehow, so we can do like actual Pale Moon shenanigans, right, where we like play Tillian, put them into Soul, call them both out somehow, put them back into Soul, draw 4 cards, fill up your Soul with 8 cards total, but of course it's like taking cards in and out, right? So yeah, really good card. So the real sounds like something that should have been for Harry. All cards for Harry. 0 cards for Harry. He deserves less. Him and Night Rose deserve less. I'm very upset that Busher didn't take my suggestion for the crest and make the crest do nothing and instead have the player pay me $5 every single time they play the crest. But instead they went with the alternative route. But next we have here Vivacious Girl, who's going to be the Astrum grade 1 promo. It does the same thing. From drop, you can call her out. Soul Blast 1, Energy Charge 1, right? Leave it to 40. Oh man, what a fictional load is he? I don't. So like, here's. For your 5. I don't care as long as you can play her. I don't like actually have a gripe with Harry, but like, I really want to like Harry. Like the design, but like I just hate his design so much, and it's just because he doesn't look cool like at all. Like the name is super cool, Masked Magician Harry. Like the Harry part is like, all right, fine, I guess. But then like Masked Magician, that sounds cool, and it's just this like dorky ass fucking kid. So like I just can never like really get behind it. But anyways, if this is behind your Swigabee, at the end of the battle that it boosts it, you can put it into Soul, choose one of your brick set orders that cost Counterblast 1 to play and give you no other ability or anything on play. From your hand or drop, put it into Order Zone, and then you choose a unit and give it 2k. And if you chose it from your hand, you draw a card. So this actually lets you set, technically, right? If you have 2 of these, by turn 2, you can have all 4 of your orders placed. Because you can play 1 on turn 2, you can play 1 on turn 3, the ride line gives you 2, and then if you do 2 of these effects, that gives you all 4. Whenever you restand, the thing is going to get like, what, 20k or something like that? So, another really good one. Love this art? Me too. I love that. I love how detailed her little fries are. How legal is it to use Japanese promos in English decks? It is illegal to use Japanese cards in English decks, unless someone allows it, but in official play, it is illegal to do. Make it channels 1, return 1 trigger to deck. That'd be nice. Even if just 1, that'd be nice. So if you place order from by her first guild, you need to still play Counterblast 1. You do not need to pay Counterblast 1 because you're not playing it, right? She just says, she doesn't say play, right? You are putting it, right? So you're just forcefully putting it into the order zone, bypassing the cost that you would have to normally pay. You only have to pay the cost if you're playing it, but you're not playing it, you're putting. So the verbiage matters. I just had dinner and those fries. Good. Yeah, you are indeed pudding. Yeah, just as I just mentioned. And the next one is not Cristianos for whatever reason. God forbid we do the 3 cards that are together in one stream, but fine. If by some force of God we're not getting a Cristianos one of these, we might have to storm Bushiroad, either USA or Japan, whichever one's closer to all of us collectively, because that's just unreal that they would not do that. But I'm pretty sure it's coming on Thursday. Can't have nothing. Next we have here War Up Well Cornflower. This says when this is placed on mirror, Energy Blast 3, look at the top 7, choose a Pacifica grade 3, add it to your hand and shuffle, which is alright. You have 8 targets, or technically 7, so alright. Come back to a storm. Yes, we're gonna storm the castle. If Cristianos does not get this promo pack, and it's not revealed this Tuesday, we're storming it. Then this once per turn, when this unit attacks, you can put a Pacifica from your drop on the bottom of the deck to get 10k to the end of that battle. So pretty alright. Except I just realized this is another grade 3. Why the fuck they make her a grade 3? Why the fuck isn't this a fucking grade 2? What was the point of making this a grade 3? Unbelievable, man. This deck already has to play 7 grade 3s main deck to function. You're gonna give her another grade 3? Oh my god. These are great and all, but man, it rubs me the wrong way that the best support for the quick start deck bosses outside of set 1 are promos. Like, hey, little Timmy, you want to get support? Cough up that money. I mean, to be fair, this just only applies somewhat to us, right? But they could just go to locals. That is sort of what, you know, the intended purpose of these is not for you to have to buy them on TCG Player. That is just the that's like the bad ending that we all have to we all have to suffer from. We're supposed to get the like true good ending is we go to locals, we play a bunch, and we get these cards ourselves, right? But unfortunately, that just isn't always the case. But hopefully, for these quick start deck boss kids, it will be the case. And I've seen single anyone play Pacifica a single time ever. Yeah. Passion fish at this point. Not core support, 0 out of 10, unfortunately. Alternative plan. Curly gets a job. Bushiroad and works his way up the ladder and becomes the next CEO. Hey, I think I'd do great. Bushiroad CEO. Hey, just make me the USA, Bushiroad USA CEO, like how Reggie for Nintendo was, you know, for Nintendo of America, bro. This card reminds me of when I go to Chipotle and they ask if I want my burrito wrapped. The ironic part is that when you get the promos at locals, you end up with a lot of them. Yep. And plenty of people will also not want your stinky little Astrum promo. So you can probably get it from them. So. But yes, they should have just included this in a set. I've been meaning to like look at this and like make a video on it where like if we took all of the cards the quick start deck bosses got, right, up until this point, we put them into a deck and we swap that out, right, for the quick start deck bosses, would that really have been that insane or like that? Would it have been that crazy? Would it have been really that hard to fill out those comment slots? I don't think so. We'll see. Unless one of you guys want your deck's promos, let's play gachas on promo packs. Yep. Or just make a lot of friends. Play a deck a lot of times, be known as that deck's, you know, that guy that plays that deck, or that person that plays that deck, and then people would just throw the promos at you, assuming they're not expensive, right? Don't come at me and be like, oh, but I'm the Ever guy, and I expect to get free ammo promos. Don't delude yourself here. But yeah. Yeah, it works whenever my locals has tourneys. Rip. I watched a YouTuber who decided to eat Chipotle for every meal for a month straight. I watched one of those, but it was Taco Bell instead. 3 coffin shooters, yikes. All I asked for a promo was Plant Idol moves, hits more than 23k, or gets a drive check, but well says, yeah, drive check I think would have been alright. It blows my mind though that the coffin shooter needed a reprint. Yeah, they thought it would be really played. It's the one reprint I feel like they really missed. Because the promo reprints have been like on the head, like good job, Bushiroad. But that's the one where it's just like, yeah, nah, you missed the ball on that one. Come on. No. Nah, they should give me more Bloodmire promos. They should probably not. Especially because we're going to spend most of the later half of the stream talking about Bloodmire. That happened with that where people pulled foils and instantly messaged me. Exactly. There you go. So you guys know I'm just making this up. As long as I don't get a Koro promo. I don't get a Koro promo, I'm fine. Damn. Sim about to throw hands with Spectre in the chat. Or well, it was Sim, right? Yeah, it was Sim. Okay. We do exactly that. The Ever guy here got 3 of them for free. Yeesh, lucky. The hard part is my locals. Hard part of my locals promos are locked to tops, so I have to sweat. Oh yeah, I don't know if that's like against Booster rules, but those are supposed to be tournament participation rewards, right? I don't know if like there's guidelines that Bushi sets and you have to follow them, but they're supposed to give you that just for signing up, not for tops. They can give you extra, but you're supposed to automatically get at least 1 for signing up. But I don't know if that's like a law that Bushiroad has to like follow, or if it's just a recommendation. But it's all about Vladimir. Yeah, it's supposed to be participation. I think they're supposed to not do it for anything else, but specifically for participation. But part of the problem right, with the tournament promos is that exactly. Is that a lot of shops don't do that, and instead they go on TCG Player as soon as they get them and list them for $30, which is a huge problem, right? We even have certain YouTubers that do that exact same thing and then flaunt it. But that's part of the promo problem, right? But with that said,
we will see the rest of the promos. You can almost kind of see it. I just realized it. Holy shit, you can kind of see it. Can you guys make that out? Oh no, it's the same card. It's the same card.
never mind. They played me. It's the same card. It's just
the reprint of Spiritual Body Condensation.
They just copy and pasted it in the background. I thought they put the actual card and just blacked it out. But no, it's just Spiritual Body Condensation, the like the female art on all 6 of these, so never mind.
Oh, I know what specific Hubert gets them from.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I know, you know, snitches get stitches, don't be a snitch, but kind of be a snitch. But yeah, it's a cute idea, but that backfired badly. I don't know about badly, but I don't really know who's at fault. Yeah.
One of them has to be Cristianos, yeah. I will say this, not to like worry you guys anymore, but it is a little strange that these two are quick start deck boss promos and they're not next to what would be another quick start deck promo. They might have just done it because they revealed these 3 at the same time, right? But kind of would have made sense to put them together though, but I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to put any doubt and worry. I don't want to put that energy out there, but yeah. It's about an hour from you. Yeesh. Please wait for me after I get cards and feel free to report them. Yikes. Shop promo distribution is better designed for Japanese audience with how things work over there versus here. Yeah, it's just all about how there's like in Japan there's probably like a gazillion stores versus like any single area, any other country, right? Japan probably has way more stores, especially in like close proximity to each other. Game stores, hobby stores, whatever you want to call them, where people can go and get promos for, versus the rest of the world, which is not the case, right? So take a Valena promo if also getting one.
That's right. So I tried to predict that before, right? It was I said dolls. Well, it's not gonna happen now. Now my prediction is off. But I had predicted that it was gonna be dolls. We know it's dolls.
Then Valena, then Rotovisor,
right?
But instead we got this little scamp
who invited this fish here. Like she did not need to be here. She could have just been in like set the previous set. 2, her ass should have been a grade 2. But 3, that should have been a Rotovisor card. But now I don't know what we're gonna get. Leave her alone. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a Valena one, but I'm concerned we're not gonna get a Rotovisor one. But we'll see. Because those are the 3 decks that did not get supported in set 4. But I wish the game was more kid-friendly, then maybe the game would be more popular. Yeah, I mean, they're making a push for that in Japan. I don't know if it succeeded. We're getting close. No, not close. We've definitely hit like half a year on their like bigger push to target towards a younger demographic. I don't know if it's been successful yet. I don't know if we have the data for that. But I love a Labrador promo, but alas, yeah. Honestly, in Ohio, the stores with events an hour apart from each other at best. Yeah, not just the amount of stores, but also the consistency of daily events. Yeah, that too. Because yeah. So they just have to do a completely different strategy, but they just copy and paste, which is what I hate about. I don't know if I should be blaming Bushiroad USA, but I'm blaming Bushiroad USA. Is that they just copy and paste whatever Japan does, not knowing that 1, it only works in Japan because it's Japan. 2, you can't apply what's in a single country to every other country in the world, right? It's not gonna work that way. Oh well. Big Booba Waifu is not kid-friendly. Big Booba Waifus. Yeah, because all the other kid-friendly games don't have Big Booba Waifus. Have you made anything good with the next set of Prism Girlies? You mean, Vert? That's her name, right? If we show
once I can help them push the younger demographic by handing out free quick start decks at schools. Yeah, with those bad quick start deck policies. I don't know, man. The real starter deck sounds like the most kid-friendly product. Yeah. We're gonna add on X to get these free promo changes, right? Vert builds herself for the most part, and I've been playing Storkea outside of Kyrie. Speaking of Storkea, we will instead be talking about Dark States. It's very dead to see that she'll never be named, never had waifus. Maybe that's why it died. But yeah, let's get this started. Let's get this over with. We got Happiness Collector, which unfortunately I might have to get an extra copy of so I can play in Luke here, because I actually really like Happiness Collector. My favorite starter in Pale Moon is I can't believe I forgot the name now. Damn it. It's a rat. Shit, I can't believe I forgot the name of it. I have to look it up. Hold on. The Silver Thorns one, I like that one too. But my all-time favorite is I can picture it, the art, especially from like Vanguard Zero. I would use it all the time. But and I know the effect is like put into soul like a top 10 or something, or top something, put something into soul. And she's like bowing, but I just can't place the name right now for some reason. I guess there's a CFA update maybe. Smiling Presenter? I want to say that's her name. Sorry, I gotta look this up before we continue. I'm pretty sure it's Smiling Presenter. Check top 44, put one on hand, put one on bottom of the deck. Why would I put one on bottom of the deck? The hell am I looking at my deck? I put something on the bottom. What am I, Hexor? Come on. No, what am I? Fucking most of Keter at this point. I guess we got the hairy stuff in CFA. Let's go to Pale Moon. Let's go to Premium. Let's go to Grade Zeros. One of my favorite trigger arts is the Silverthorn one. This one, because she looks really cute with her paws. But it is. I wonder if her effect is the same. Where is she? I also really like the cat. Cat is cool. Where is she? There she is. Yeah, Smiling Presenter. Okay, I was right. Whew. So it was Counterblast 1. Put this into soul. Look at the top 10. Yeah, so she was like that Grand Blue card, Captain Night Kid. Instead of drop, she puts it into soul. That was my favorite starter of all time. Smiling Presenter. Anyways, this of course just lets you draw one for a coin second. Then we've got ourselves Moonlight Melody Tamer Betty, who Shockball Shocks on ride gives you the crest, right? But then we have the actual Masked Magician Harry crest itself. Let's go through it. So it has the same first 3 effects, right? It gives you the license to actually stride, so you can legally stride in standard. Your Harry becomes 13k, including the heart, and for each face-up card in your G zone, you get 5k to your front row. But the unique skill we have for this crest is that on GB2, at the end of your turn, if 2 or more cards are put into soul, you may draw 1, which is really nice because, I mean, considering the nature of the deck and Magia, how it works, you will pretty much always achieve this requirement. Which means you can always, at the end of your turn, draw 1, which is, you know, kind of nice. You already get a little bit of value, right? Because you can already draw 1 from the starter, or I should say from the grade 1 specifically, because that lets you draw 1. All of the starter deck sets, grade 1s lets you do that. And then now you can draw a card every single turn. So that's like, okay, and you have triple drive, right? That's fine. You aren't drawing as many cards as maybe Chrono Jet or Messiah yet. Or maybe even Shiranui or anyone like that. But hey, draw at the end of the turn, pretty nice. It's not as crazy, I guess, as the Night Rose one. This one's a little bit more straightforward and simple.
But it doesn't also set you up as much as the Night Rose one. It doesn't have as many cool interactions as the Night Rose one, but it's nice and simple. Whoops, we're back. Then we have ourselves here card dealer Jacqueline, who does the same exact thing as Columbard from, I think it was Columbard, right? From the Night Rose reveals, where if you write Harry, you Soul Blast like a top 7, choose 2 normal units, 1 to hand, 1 to soul, as long as none of them are Sentinels. Which is, yeah, it was a good effect in Night Rose. It's a good effect in Harry, right? Allows you to very easily get something to hand, but more importantly, get something into soul. So yeah, pretty good. She also says when she's placed from soul, this unit gets 5k to the end of the turn. This is not locked to GB anything. Also not locked to having a crest. So you can actually play this in other decks. So for once, they actually made deck set cards playable in other decks. That's crazy. Whether or not you actually will is a different story, but that's kind of cute. Is it worth it to play the Harry Crest in Premium? Probably. Because it's a crest. I don't know what to tell you. Crests are good. Right. What a shocker. It doesn't call a card from soul like it used to? No. Just like Columbard, it doesn't CB1 Soul Blast one? No, I think it was just CB1, GB1, CB1 on attack when boosted, call something from soul. Or Soul Charge 1, call something from soul. She does not do that anymore. Yeah, barrel support, yeah. So I can pay like, actually these are usually kind of cheap, so maybe I won't have to pay as much. But yeah, I can pay like a bunch of money just to get this, just to get a 15k, 25k attack. Or whoa. But it's just kind of nice that it's kind of playable. That's one of my many gripes with the deck sets, is that all the cards are useless outside of the deck set, so they just add really nothing to like the standard card pull as a whole, right? But that's kind of nice. Then we've got Masked Magician Hetty, who has the same skill as before. GB2, when it attacks a Vanguard, you can call something from soul, give that thing 3k, and when you stride over it, you can counterblast 1, soul charge 1, call something out from your soul, it gets 5k, and then it goes back to your soul at the end of the turn. But this effect also has Magia, so if it says, if it was called by Magia, do something else, this fulfills that requirement as well. So this is all the same. At least the lower PGs is still popular inside the deck set, yeah. Like the PGs don't count for now, because there's really no real way to do anything with them aside from the Keter ones that explicitly lets you do it, and the Dragon Emperor one, which now you can do stuff thanks to the I mean, not so much, but thanks to the Shoujo Doji shenanigans you can do, right? But aside from the PGs, those were the only cards that were playable, and I guess the starter. But all the starters are like $50 because you can play them in Premium. Well, I guess the starters aren't as much. It's really the grade 1 that's a lot. Then we have ourselves here Lunging Assistant, which is a brand new card. That, unfortunately, just says if you have the Harry Crest on play, Soul Charge 2. Really cool art. Love everything about it, except that she's just Soul Charge 2. I get that it's Pale Moon, you need Soul, blah, blah, blah. This might be better than I'm thinking it is, but I also don't like the fact that it's a mandatory Soul Charge 2, right? So it's not like you can get away with playing this and not soul charging, but oh well. Why this sucks? Because all it does is Soul Charge 2, nothing else. I can guarantee you there are other ways to fill up soul than just blindly Soul Charging on top 2 cards of your deck. And it's Pale Moon, so you don't need quantity of cards in soul, you need quality. So you don't need to just fill up your soul with random crap. If this card is generic, would you play her in barrel? Yes, 100% she would be played in barrel, because there is literally no other way to Soul Charge 2 cards on a unit in Dark States that's not tied to an obscene cost or requirement, and that's not already Curtis or Hardening Insight. Everything is Soul Charge 1 or like some other crazy nonsense. There's nothing that just says I'll play Soul Charge 2 easily, right? Nothing does that. Can't even get something that says on plays Counterblast 1 Soul Charge 3, right, as a unit. Can't even get that. Place over clockwise, I guess I don't know.
Harry has amazing waifus, but then there's Harry himself. Finally, OG Bruce support. I mean, essentially, considering that a bunch of his cards used to do stuff like that. But then we got the most controversial here. Also, the most interesting that we don't see the grade 3. Like for Night Rose, we got Night Storm. We don't see the grade 3 equivalent here, which is the like Barky Manticore, I think it was, which is interesting. But it was a good what a waste. Yeah, I really like the art. I like it might still see some play. Like, it's not a bad effect. It's just could have done more. Could have at least Soul Charge 2 gotten 2k, right? Then it would have been like, okay, but it's just on play Soul Charge 2. You're not playing Barrel Magus, right? You don't need to fucking play 3 of these Soul Charge 6 in a turn, right? I'm sure this is going to make Swirler expensive because people are going to see that. I was like, oh, I can make my Swirler 18k. That's so good. Swirler good card, right? Swirler. We got Cutie Paratrooper here who says, when does this place on rear? Other than during the battle phase, if you have Harry, you can put a rear guard that is not her into Soul. Choose a card that is with a different card name from the thing you put into Soul, call it out, and then at the end of the turn put it back into Soul. So not only can you not use this in battle, you can only use this on turn 3, even though it's not like GB1 locked or anything like that. You can only use this on turn 3, and you can't call out the same rear guard that you put into Soul. So you can't like abuse on place effects or anything like that. So that's great. That's totally useful. Like, this is still solid because it lets you access your Soul, lets you put stuff into Soul. So like, this is a bad example, but something like a Flaming Pony that only activates in Soul, you can, you know, use this to put it into Soul that way. But yeah, the fact that this is only on main phase and can't you call the same card, kind of sucks. Doesn't even get power, nothing. I'm super sorry, guys, but don't blame him. They could have made her the exact same as the original Cutie Paratrooper. We're 100% blaming Chronojet and Upstream. I hope nothing good ever happens to the two of them for the rest of their existence. Every deck set is still paying for Jetsons. They really didn't want it to work with Upstream. They didn't want it to work at all. They didn't want it to work at all. Which is dumb because, like, this is what Pale Moon is known for doing, right? And they're like, nah, that shit your deck usually does? Nah. Only do it on main phase, like loser. Can call Revolts early, then call her to swap Revolts. Who? Who? That sounds like a grade 3. Whoops, that's a Dragon Empire. What is Revel? Nothing. The Dragon Empire Dark States donation, you can't call it out because it has to be played from hand. I don't think it shows up on this side. All right, I have to go over here. I mean, you can call it out. It's just not going to do anything. Because its effect has to be called from hand. This guy? Yeah, you have to call him from hand. So. Then call her to swap rid of us. So, I mean, Counterblast 1, the Soul Charge 1, call her out, put him back into Soul, call something else out. That just gives you 2 rear guards. One of these had 5k. I don't know if that really does much. They're saying the original would have worked with Upstream anyways, so he's innocent. Sure. Sure. As usual, Jet not taking responsibility, dodging all accountability. But yeah, I don't know what that would really give you. Like,
It'd give you it. You end up with the same result, right? I don't know. Like, I guess if she's installed and you only had Ford in hand, well, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how the rest of the deck works to see if that's even worth it. But that's it. We have nothing else. This is why Blandmire is the best Dark Date deck. It's like you have CFA open, you can look for myself for Cutie Paratrooper. I know what the card does. Trying to say I don't know what the card does, but more importantly, we're getting the Stride information next Tuesday. But more importantly than that, they said this year that we're getting news of a new product coming out in November, Japan's November, which is after set 5, which I don't think is going to be set 6. I don't think they're going to announce that. I could be wrong. That'd be kind of crazy, but I don't think they're going to announce set 6. I hope not, because we're going to be really close to Japan once we get set 5. So if they had already announced set 6 in November, then we're going to be a step behind again. But it might be Triple Drive Booster, because that came around that time, I believe. That might come back, right? Maybe Luan and Zedlines will finally get more support. Who knows? So thought your responsibility is Fitz true. Sure. Now I'm being gaslit. And of your reprint set, probably Quadruple Drive. Yikes. Not necessarily on the same turn. Chronogen is the reason why. Chronogen is the reason we are standard lore. We are standard lore wise. Huh? I can't wait for the G Anniversary set announcement next week. Ugh. Bermuda Triangle Stride deck set incoming? Nah, they wouldn't announce that. So they haven't even finished coming out. They haven't even finished revealing the current Stride deck set, so that's definitely not coming out in November. If it's really a G Anniversary thing, if it's a G Anniversary thing for standard, I'm gonna be really depressed. Honestly. Yeah, if it's a premium product and it's G related or whatever, fine. Go for it. Go nuts. I encourage it 100%. If it's for standard, Jet Killing Geese says the reason standard format exists is what I was saying. Now we're trying to give Jet credit for creating the whole format too. First, he does nothing wrong for shooting Paratrooper in the leg. Then he's saying that it wouldn't have worked out anyways, because like he's too good to make it work. Now we're saying that he created the whole ass format too. Jesus. He's literally Jesus, I guess. My gosh. But speaking of Jesus, quick reminder, the Discord, the Drop Zone, we'll be having a tournament not this Friday but next Friday. I could have done this Friday actually, now that I think about it, but because of the day I can't. But I could have done this Friday and earlier, cause spoiler alert, we're not getting an anime episode this weekend or this Friday, but it'll be next Friday right after the anime episodes airs. You can check in and play in locals, online, remote at the Drop Zone. So make sure you guys can check that out. Also, just a quick reminder, we have set 3 coming out in English finally. Divine set 3 coming out August 30th. And to commemorate that, we'll be having in the Discord Card Fight the weekend. We'll be having Card Fight tournaments the entire weekend. Sorry, did I say November before? August 23rd for that one. This is in August. This is September. September 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday, the next day at the 7th, September 7th, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then finally, Sunday, the 8th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, if you guys want to test out your set 3 stuff, it is the week after set 3 drops, so you have time to get your cards, make your orders, whatever the case may be, and then test them out in a bunch of fights. My wallet is 0. The anniversary product that brings new strides to the format, your groove. Bleh. I would literally quit. I would sincerely quit. If they decide to do something like that just because of the fact that I won't even get into it. Because I know none of the stride mind virus is too strong for anyone to listen to what I have to say. But I'll come to the tournament with Shiranui. Just came to some from the Discord. I mean, you can join the tournament with Shiranui, you just can't play with Ford. So but yep. But all right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the anime episode real quick. Kind of real quick, because there's not anything crazy to talk about. We're going to be talking about episode, I think, 6 of the anime. Also, the Discord that I mentioned is here. I'm not gonna your bank account's a fine skill quick loan. Please don't. Oracle's Vanguard Day is going to be on the 31st. I can already see Dojo winning on Vanguard Day, probably. Let's go back. But yeah, what you guys think about the episode? Princess Jabra surprisingly didn't throw horribly. She played correct, I guess. I feel it. I don't know how she drove checked 6 fucking cards, 2 of them including a crit, and she couldn't protect herself at all, but whatever. Discard cards from your hand with their grades being 3 or greater. Trust me, it's fun. Sure, just do that in premium. Just do that in the format it was designed for. Sounds great there. I'll even join you. A surprise now one, which means Akina is losing next episode. Yeah, it's seems pretty guaranteed that Akina's gonna lose, which is good. He needs a loss. He's been too squeaky clean for someone that learned Vanguard 2 days ago. I was shocked to hear that she's older than now. Yeah, and she's like this tall. Love her for that. But yeah, it seems guaranteed that Akina's gonna lose, because otherwise the Destined guys are gonna go 4-2. And this whole thing would be kind of pointless, honestly, unless they try to do some nonsense. But if they go 4-2 because they don't want Akina to lose, then like, I don't know what to tell you. But it's pretty clear that he's going to lose. They're going to have some sort of something happen, and then we're going to have Kyon and him fight for the last, to like actually settle the tiebreaker. And then God knows what happens in the remaining episodes, right? Is 8 gauges that difficult to achieve in real game? She made it seem easy. I mean, if you take 5 damage, that's already 5 gauges, and you just have to use this guy's skill, right? Once per turn. So, is the Gao Mikado of Vanguard? If Gao had more character, I'm assuming that's going to be another Buddy Fight reference, because you guys only talk about Buddy Fight ever. Oh, you guys don't watch any other anime except Buddy Fight, apparently. But yeah, interesting thing, she exists. She fucking exists. Look at her. She exists. They showed her. She said like one line. She didn't get yeeted. She didn't like get hit by a bus. Go screw you. It's back with me. She exists. But I don't have a slide for it, but they made some sort of connection between Senka and Megumi. And I saw someone post that, I don't know if it's not here, where they showed, well, it's this scene, right? Where they showed this scene. They showed Senka and she had a similar outfit. It might be the same uniform. They had a similar uniform to what Megumi used to wear in high school. So it's possible they know each other. And they had mentioned something about Senka being like one of the top 3. I forgot the title they used, right? But there was like 3 somethings, right? So that either means Megumi now and Senka are the top 3, whatever they were calling them, or it's Senka and then 2 other new characters that we'll find out in the future. Oh, either way, pretty cool. So they didn't retrieve a gauge from her ride line skill, right? I don't know if you can do that. I think you have to pick a card. I don't remember. They made Megumi dating Danji on screen. I'd lose it. I would lose it. But one thing I did not like is that we showed some sort of development, like something was gonna happen with Senka. We'd learn an iota about her, other than that she wants to like trash now. And they show this scene of her going like now. A bus passes, and then we're just in a fight. Did no one else find that strange? She just comes out of the car shop. She's like, bus passes. All right, let's just get to the fight. Let's get this over with. No character development. No more exploring your backstory. None of that matters. Just get to the fight. Let's get this over with. Come on. Can you clearly tell that is Misaka despite the different accent? I mean, not really. She didn't really sound like Misaka to me. I know it's the same voice actor, but I didn't like pick it up. I think she did a good enough job changing her voice. Just good on her. Other than that, Palio seems like something I would build. Yeah, I would like to build it, and we could take a look at some of the list afterwards. I've also wanted to ask if anyone knows what this is about. This is a screenshot from the opening of the anime, where we show Kyon going into fucking some abyss in a back alley somewhere, right? And right, it's like all lit up here, right? What's going on here? Where's this man going to? Right? Originally, I thought this was like some sort of like end of the world kind of gate thing or something like that, but like some sort of containment or something like that. I don't know. That's what I always pictured it as, but I just for whatever reason never questioned what it was. But what are we looking at here? Senka beat God Diva in the store tournament. Was that good? Gandiva? Oh wow, I didn't see that. He lives in the trash. That's when you can see really briefly when Megami walks by. Okay. Look at what sort of dude was convinced on Robotina after the Divine Skill pose. Oh, I mean, I wish they would do a little bit more with those, but yeah. But yeah, I don't know what they're trying to tell us here. What this means, right? Looks very shady, and right, like I don't know why I never questioned this more, but I've always had it in the back of my mind, like, what's happening here? Right? Because there's been a lot of talks of like, oh, maybe we're just gonna go to fucking Cray, right? Maybe we're just gonna end up in Cray, right? Maybe something, whatever's gonna resolve at the end of this episode, and we're just gonna go into Cray. And I keep comparing it to season 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, because that's literally what happens. They go to the actual spirit world or whatever, Dual Monster World, whatever the hell they called it. But I don't think that would work for Vanguard, right? Because the whole thing there is that like the monsters were real, and then you can actually fucking fight them, and then the monsters had dual disc, right? Whereas like Vanguard is completely different because it's you kind of like embodying the spirit of that monster. So like if you're in Cray, are you just going to embody the spirit of that monster also? So, and like, how do the monsters just exist and they fight? Like, I don't know how that's gonna work out, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna keep calling Tyzer the Wellster dude. He's not talking about Tyzer. He's talking about some dude in his locals that plays Wellstrom. Average movie logic, maybe. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But I feel like this scene might have something to do with it. Who knows? But as I mentioned earlier, we're not gonna get an anime episode this weekend. We are instead going to get this talk show, I guess is the genre, that has been, I think it's been going on, which has the voice actor for Akina here. I think he's the main host, and it's like, I think it's like a variety talk show where they just kind of like do stuff, which is nice because it's like somewhat Vanguard focused, I think, or maybe all Vanguard focused. But I don't know if this has been airing the whole time. I think it has been. I have not. Of course, I haven't been able to see it, but we'll be instead getting an episode of that, I guess, at a specific time slot. The shirts match the nation colors. Yes, except for the fact that he's wearing red, but yes. But Mario Mantis delay Leo Oldham for me because of the fact that they haven't revealed any for set 5 and they have to slow that down. We will not be seeing her at all until presumably after the Stride reveals, I think, because I think we'll know most of everything by next week, right? And then they can start talking about set 5. I think. I don't know. because then I don't know if we can do a whole month of set 5 reveals. Right, a whole month and a half of set 5 reveals. I don't know, that seems like a lot, but we'll see. Watch a few episodes of those live action specials. God, they're so boring. I mean, I don't know, to each their own. But much like this sneak peek promo for Divine Set 3. Whoa! It'll be a new support card for Brankgate. Wow! Who knows what this is gonna be? Whoa! It's the fucking Orphis promo, obviously. Very much obviously the Orphis promo. Yeah, the GOAT, obviously. It is not a box hopper, it is a sneak peek promo. Box hoppers, I think, are the same ones from like set 13 or something like that, right? Is the baby supposed to be an upgrade for the starter deck Hunk of a Man? Yes, it is supposed to be an upgrade for the starter deck Hunk of a Man, just unofficially because it's a collaboration. It goes well. I would like to play Orphis, but I'm so over Mask. Yeah, I'm so over this sneak peek specifically, just because, like, I hate sneak peek promos that are just one specific promo card. That only works for one specific deck. Like, out of the, I don't know, 80 decks we have available, if I were to go to a sneak peek event just to get a copy of one card, where there's a 1 in 80th chance that I play the deck, it seems kind of dumb to me. But would people buy out this promo? No one will buy out this promo unless they do something like that, but they won't. So I'm gonna see our best deck we got our order, and Coulter Blaze didn't. It should have been the Coulter Blaze one. I don't know why the hell they gave us this dumbass GOAT. Could have just given that in the set for all I care as a box hopper, and they could just give us the fucking promo for the card that you're releasing, the whole ass deck that you're releasing in that set. Whatever. We'll see whenever the hell we'll get Blazing Warcry here. Been playing Orphis in Dear Days, and while the playstyle is fun, it's not something I'd main. Yeah, just wait until eventually Dear Days gets Orphis Mask and things will change up a bit. I'm either gonna have 10 or 11 of this promo. It was a GOAT. Great. I don't know why you would want more than 4, honestly. Like, maybe in some weird world where the original Orphis was still kind of playable, but that is not a thing. But we've talked about it before. All it does is just say, if you have a world set order, essentially, you energy blast 3, look at top 7, choose either a grade 3 or world, and add it to your hand. That's it. It's just a searcher. That's it. It's good. It doesn't set it or anything like that. Adds it to your hand, and it gets 5k shield. Like, it's fine. It should have just been this. Crazy that Coulter Blaze still sucks even when its own version of Missing Habitat Hell has to. Yeah, it's a really good deck. Coulter Blaze. I don't know if you're being genuine or sarcastic. Zero. I'm honestly not sure. Rafflehog and Balduros to just farm worlds. I was a little concerned. I was like, does he know something? Does he know something I don't? No, yeah. This, like, you know me, right? I try to be positive, optimistic about every deck and whatnot, try and see the good in it. But like, even I tried Coulter Blaze, and I was just like, friends have been testing it. It's pretty legitly horrible. No way, bro. No way. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a look at it again, but like, yeah, I just didn't want to make it work. Like, I just read some of the cards, and I'm just like, I don't want to do any of these. I don't want to do what any of these cards say on them. So, sounds like a good addition to Overlord. Sounds like a good addition to any Dragon Empire deck, honestly. But God knows when we'll get it. Make Lamphead good. Asking for too much. But all right, let's get into these 50 gazillion tournament results that we've got. It took me longer, or not, I should say shorter than I thought to get to this point. But so we have a bunch of tournament results from overseas with set for. So like I mentioned, all those decks that you want to find out how they maybe see play, all the new Destin cards, we're going to be able to look at them, all of them today. And let's go here, I think. Yeah. Bought a piece of box gambling at the sneak peek. It would be BBTV. BBTV. BBT. Oh, Blaster Blade the Vanguard. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been nice, but God knows how we'll get that guy as well. Oh well. Hopefully we get him soon. Since we got his promo, we should be getting him soon, but who knows. Alright. I would like to try and make this into a video, because I need to upload videos to YouTube, apparently. That's apparently a good thing. I'm trying to see if you can test something really quickly. Just give me a second. Hopefully nothing happens to the stream. It should be next for set 4 in October or for lyrical, because it wouldn't make any sense for lyrical, so I don't know. Well, hold on, I have to open up DaVinci Resolve real quick. Just take a look at something. And let's grab what I think was Thursday's stream. Yes, change the frame rate. I just need to make sure that it is saving all my audio tracks in separate audio. All my audio is in separate tracks, but I need to make sure of. Not to doing that dumb thing where it doesn't want to show me the waveform. I actually like her new art. Okay. Give me a second. This here, right? Just needs to like load. It's really annoying. But I think it's fine. Alright, let me just see. So a lot, honestly. I like it a lot. I think it's my favorite Knuckles art. Okay. That's my voice, and then is this the music? That is the music. Okay, perfect. So just working as I expected. All right, don't save. Sorry. I just need to check something really quickly. We'll be playing new at my locals by the time Blaster Blade the Vanguard comes to have the funny 19k grade 2 dominate. 19k grade 2 dominance into my 20k base set. Yeah. Yeah. That was from Thursday stream. I just wanted to make sure that the Thursday stream had all my audio tracks separated, so then that way if I edit this into a video, I can just take out the music and put in separate music on a separate track so it lines up, instead of what will be this all like jumbled up when I have to make cuts, right? Sorry for getting all technical. I watched a deluxe single core fight where a MLB beats Shiranui and counter dominate with a Blaster Blade the Vanguard. Yeah, I think that's probably what Click was talking about. Hey, Aster. All right. I guess I can think we're back. Turns out that was a big of a thing. Oh, gotta go all the way back now. Sorry. So I was trying to see if I can switch to another stream collection that I have chat on screen. But that apparently caused OBS to crash. It was just like, nah, I can't fucking do that, bro. I'm sorry. Goodbye. And it hung up on me. So sorry about that. Is there any way that I can do this faster? Oh, there we go. No, it just goes at the same speed. Okay. Yeah, I pressed the kill button accidentally. Sorry, I have to go back there. I was gonna put chat on screen, but maybe I can't do that. I guess I could have done that in between when it crashed, but yeah. Yes, tournament, yes, go to Discord 969798. Yep, love it. Anime spoiler, Senka's great. I love her. There's Megumi. Ooh, weird cut. Alright, there's the anime episode. I don't know what Atlas is doing. No anime episode next week. Oh my god, what is it? It's the Go. Should have been Blazing Warcry. Okay. Whew. We're back. There we go. I'm dizzy. Sorry. Yeah, we just did the whole stream in like 2 minutes. It took me an hour to get through that. Thanks for the recap. You're welcome. Baby power crashed the screen. Yep, unfortunately. Baby's too strong. He clinging to Cassianos too hard. Alright, but let me see if I can add. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. Browser. No, it is indeed that hard. Damn it. Well, y'all just gonna have to believe me when I say that. So, when you guys see this on when you guys see this on YouTube, believe me that this was live. I can't get chat to show up on the stream right now, otherwise the stream will crash again, or I will have to spend a long time, and we have a lot to go through. So, oh well. When anime gets a back anime recap, yep. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that one of the episodes, right? If they just go back and it's just a recap episode, I'd be really disappointed. But that would be a way to fill up one of those random episodes that we don't know what's gonna happen in, because there's no more fights, right? But all right. What is the next one? Yeah. Okay. Plushie Wars? Yeah, essentially. Alright. Just, yeah. Cool. Alright. Hey!
It's Curly, and Divine's Set 4 has finally released overseas. And as is kind of customary in Japan, they immediately had tournaments the next day. So we're going to take a look at 2 sets of tournaments, a whole lot of deck lists between an official Bushiroad tournament and an unofficial one.
And then play the intro. I feel like the whole episode could have been where Akane has the bros over losing to Hikari and these people that cheer him out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something like that, or they're going to like train him up to fight Kyone. One of those two.
Or they'll reveal that Hikari is like being controlled or some nonsense, right? But we'll see. Right, sorry. How does this go again? Back and forth. Okay, yeah. So first things first, we have the Ultimate Vanguard Cup here, which is an unofficial tournament. It's not done by Bushiroad here. We had 52 teams with 156 participants here, and you can take a look at the sort of spread of decks that were being played here. So in the top, we have ourselves Shoto Doji, still one of the top dogs coming out of set 3, the previous set. We have Vladimir jumping up after its support in set 4. And then we've got ourselves some new decks, such as the Ali Calibria, which just came out, one of the new Destiny units for Dragon Empire. And then we've got a whole slew of Dragon Empire buddies here, taking up these slots here, followed by Varga and Shiranui. Then we've got a new deck here in Impaldio. And then we've got just a bunch of other stuff going on here. But we do see a Leverdress over here. We do see Eliasfel over here. And we do see a little bit of Olden here as well. Which is kind of nice to see. Come on. You can also take a look at the official tournament for Bushiroad that they had at the same weekend, and it's kind of around the same exact things. You see about the same type of decks showing up here in this pie chart. You would be proud that Dragon Empire is representing Bruno Levy based here. He is here, but he is not in the pie chart. No. Shoujo is indeed still popping off. So if we take a look back here at the Ultimate Vanguard Cup, we can go ahead and take a look at the top 16. So that was just for the whole tournament, what we just looked at. And then this is here, just the top 16, the top cut here, and what the decks were being played. And it's kind of the same as the previous one, just a little bit abridged. And we see that even though Shoujo Doji was the most played deck, the most topping deck out of all of these ended up being Shiranui, to the surprise of just about no one. But we still see some of the new decks showing through, so we still have Olden here, and we still have ourselves Alec-Libia, as well as Chris Rain in Raziel, as well as Varga and Vladimir, who all receive support in set 4. On deck, Cat and Pile deck, you'll see. We're going to look at every single tier list, so... or every single list, I should say. So as you see Chris in 2 charts, but I guess it's just team shenanigans. I don't know if Ultimate Vanguard honestly does diversity cut. I don't think they do that. So I don't think it is team shenanigans. But we'll take a look at each of the top 8 teams and the decks that we were playing. So first we have a team here that was using a mix of Alec-Libia, Varga, and Shiranui, what many would consider, I think, the top decks right now, and they're all from Dragon Empire, so they're definitely the top Dragon Empire decks. We'll start off here with Alec-Libia, which is a brand new deck from Divine, set 4, that focuses on using its own keyword of Overcharge, selecting its own units with that same keyword in order to power them up. And for the most part, we're going to see the same core cards being played for Alec-Libia, where it's going to be basically 4 of every single card that was released in the set. So they have here the Resander that allows them to restand. They have here a card that allows them to draw and soul charge. They have a counter charger over here. And then you'll also see the ride line as expected, but you'll also see the Ford as well as the Shinri here, as they make a really nasty combo on turn 2, and you can use them both to get yourself some soul, which the deck needs a lot of soul to function. And you also have the in archetype normal order here that actually allows you to call cards back from drop. And they decided to fill up the last slot. Instead of with an energy cycle, you'll see a lot of them running the Brachial Force, which allows you to have some retire and also early game, and maybe also be able to draw as well. Bum 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 bum. Avatar Fire Nation beam here, yo. No diversity cut for Ultimate. I confirmed that myself from Japanese social media. I figured as much. Please, choice for Getter Pile of Existence. Don't be ridiculous. Why is Brachial Force still being played? That card is still not being power crept. It's a good card. Retire and draw 1 is good. I don't know what to tell you. Then next up, we've got ourselves here Varga, who remains mostly unchanged. As really the only addition that we have here is a new grade 3 that allows them to place Energy Blast 3, look at the top 5 to call something out, and whenever it's retired by Varga's skill, you can give Varga 5k. But other than that, the list is about the same. It seems that basically you just end up dropping the Soul Blast Cycler if you were playing that, or the or the grade 3, the other grade 3 if you're playing that, in order to just make space of this and just slot it in. Otherwise, the list looks relatively the same. They've also seemed to have adapted to start playing draw triggers here. Typically, Varga would play front triggers, sometimes for the defenses, or they play draw triggers in order to draw cards. I've seen it go either way, but this one here is specifically playing the draw triggers. And some of them are playing the yellow over trigger, some are playing the purple over trigger, but in this case, we've got ourselves the tried and tested blue over trigger. Do you know who else draws one and retires? Dragon Maelstrom. Unbelievable. Is Varga still CB heavy? I know he is Energy Blast heavy now. Yep, still the same deck. Nothing has really changed. You have the cup, or not the cup. This to countercharge, and that's about it. So you still gotta know how to play Vanguard to play Varga. Then the last one we have here is going to be Shiranui, who remains basically unchanged completely since set 4. There was nothing really for the deck that it could use, which is going to be kind of the case for all of the decks we look at that weren't directly supported. There was really no other outside tools, generic tools, or anything of the sort that they could actually play around with. Then we got ourselves here another set of top 8s, which is going to show us the Shoujo Doji, Shiranui again, and the Bladmire that has been seeing a lot of relevance lately. Thanks for supporting set 4. Overdress deserves better. We got ourselves here Shoujo Doji, which I believe we're going to see a lot of Shoujo Dojis today, and they're all relatively going to be exactly the same list for the most part. It's going to be 3 in main deck of the new Shoujo Doji, 4 of the new grade 2, 4 of the promo, and then 4 of the rest of the Shoujo Doji named cards, essentially. And a lot of them are playing this Regalis piece, Unite the Sky, which we will hopefully be seeing soon in English in the Virgilio child deck, start deck, structure deck product that we'll be getting sometime in November. Then we got ourselves here the Shiranui list, which again is relatively the same, just minor tweaks and changes. Some are playing the Splits Order, some are not, some are playing more copies of Esper ID, and so on and so forth, but generally the same structure. Then we've got ourselves here Bladmire, which has seen a bit of a change since set 4 has dropped. We're no longer seeing as many or any of the grade 1 that allows you to force your opponent to discard a card whenever you use your divine skill. We're not really seeing that anymore. Instead, we're seeing the promo card here that allows you to play a card from your drop and put into soul, and it also allows your opponent to not be able to intercept. But most importantly here, we're seeing the Velorock Dragon here that allows you to basically do exactly what 4 does. On place from hand, counterblast 1, soul charge 1, call something out from your soul. Then if you don't have Bladmire, it goes back into soul, but also for every 4 cards in your bind zone that are face down, this gets plus 10k. So this is a more typical list for Bladmire for the most part, but we'll see a couple of different lists that make a couple of interesting changes, such as making this little fella over here boost, which gives you some really hefty numbers with this guy here. But other than that, the main change has just been adding in this new grade 2 triple rare. Watching CNN someone had Stride Deck 6 the anime, they would not do that. They haven't showed any encounters yet. Is playing 1 energy cycler really the ideal ratio? No. Was that what was that, the Shiranui list? No. I don't know about 1 energy cycler for Doji. I think I'm gonna just run the second Kajijika for me. Yeah, that probably seems the case. I don't think you run any of the energy cyclers. I think that's probably the only difference with that list. I think the next 5 we're gonna see are gonna be exactly the same, but we'll see. Bladmire is also CB heavy now. Somewhat. Kind of always was, to be honest. No. Then we've got another top 8 here who's going to show us again Varga, Bladmire, and Shoujo Doji. And you can see the Varga list is relatively exactly the same, slightly tweaking the ratios a bit, but it seems like everyone has very easily adapted to playing into the new grade 3, which of course allows you to fill up your board, deck thin, and power up your Varga. And the rest of the core deck seems relatively unchanged here. We're seeing draw triggers here, as well as the purple over trigger here, which is nice because it does allow you to sort of countercharge, because you can take a face down card from your damage and remove it from the damage zone, add it to your hand, which allows you to take more damage, which you can then use to counterblast for your plays. And it also allows you to call something out to the front row to get an additional attack, as your front row will obviously be empty after you use Varga's skill. We also see the cup being played here for the extra Persona ride. Then we got ourselves here Bladmire, and this one is going to be a bit interesting. Here's the grade 1 I was mentioning before. We're only playing one copy of it in this list here. We actually have ourselves 2 copies of the Cage of Furious Souls. You see that being played here. But we actually have ourselves 2 copies of this fella here, which is the double rare from set 2 that allows you to set an order or search an order from your deck. And we have the set order here from Festive Collection that at the beginning of battle allows you to choose one of your units and let them boost. You also are not seeing the partner for that, which is the grade 2 that allows you to search out said order. Instead, we're actually using this guy, which is I find kind of interesting, that there's a specific card that searches out the set order, but we're not playing it. We're playing the generic card, which makes sense because it does give you access to these other 2 set orders, or I should say orders, if you'd like to, right? But the main target for that is usually here the dragon, as it can get really big and be a really big booster from the back row, and you can just support your Zalmogs with their crit in the front row. And we're also seeing the Falcor here, which is also an interesting addition, as it helps you draw extra cards, and it also helps with the fact that these 2 are both Energy Blast 3. This can be Counterblast, right? You can CB1 for this, but you kind of need CB for this and for this and for this, so you're probably not going to do that. So having this, getting a little extra energy goes the mile. And also you can Energy Blast 3 anytime during a turn. If this boosts, you can then retire her to draw 1, which is pretty good. Mid-hat and the grade 1, the triple R grade 1 is kind of redundant. Not really, gotta draw a lot of cards. Full part, my beloved. I hope she isn't too expensive. Yeah, she will be. I already have 4 of her because I have a split for set 3 ordered, but I have to try and see if I can get the SRs. So Bladmire build doesn't play the Gear Colossus grade 3, but in exchange plays those techs. No, some of them still play the Colossus. So there's a couple of different Bladmire lists. I need the SR. I need her to her SR. But the art is too good. Yeah, absolutely. Especially since I use her in Lukier. I need her. Then we got ourselves here Shoujo Doji, which again is about the same as the list we saw before. I saw chat mentioning this. I am streaming this live on youtube.com. I can't get chat to show up on screen, so just trust me, I'm not just talking to myself here. But we're playing 1 copy of the Energy Cycler here, which is kind of interesting. You can not play this and maybe play some other, fill up some other of your ratios here, mainly the Kagashika here. But I'm not sure why they're playing one of these. I was thinking maybe you can bind this and guard with it, but I don't think this has the stealth name, so you can't really recur it. You can use it to maybe get back one of your grade 1s on Persona Ride. I'm not entirely sure why we were only playing 1 singular copy of this, but hey, it is there, and this is the second list that's doing it, so there's got to be something there. He suckered himself, god damn it. He's talking to Netfall off screen. No, you don't. Unbelievable. Guys, I'm so lucky I can't get chat on screen right now. So lucky. So lucky. Oh, but alright. Then next up, we have ourselves here Alec Livia, Welsha, and Bladmire. All decks that were supported in set 4. We have here Alec Livia, which is essentially the same as the first one, just some minor changes here, where we are seeing here the double rare from set 2 again, which allows you to stretch out this order, which again you can counterblast 1, bring back 2 of your overcharge units. We're also seeing the cat here, which is kind of nice for a little bit of defense, but other than that, it's generally the same core, right? 4 of every card that says Ale Calibria or overcharge from the set, aside from the ride deck. You put that in main deck, and we're slapping this guy and this guy in there as well. Curly's talking to himself. I'm not talking to you. We are figments of his imagination. Gosh darn it. But yeah, so there's none of the dual nation card here or the Shrinnery, which is all right. I think we'll see some list. I think most of the lists we'll look at today will be running that, but it works out because it gives the deck a really strong early game, and then it allows you to basically close out the game with these guys' big numbers, right? Because they can all get really big, swinging for 60 something, thanks to how the compounding of the overcharge and their abilities work. Does the calibrating order seem like an option for Alec? I mean, you can play it. I don't think you really need it. You really need the Angel Ladder, to be honest, because you don't want your units to get removed. That's why we're playing so many copies of this, because you gotta basically have a full board. For the most part, you don't really need the counter charge. So next up, we have here Wellstra, which for whatever reason this list specifically doesn't have a single copy of the promo Dog Boy, possibly because they couldn't get access to it. I don't know, but they also have 4 FFR of the Freiheit, so maybe they just don't have the promo in foil or something. Instead, we're seeing basically the same general list here. The only difference is that usually this satellite is played at 2, but the only real major change here is we're adding the new triple rare from set 4 here that allows you to not only call itself out after it's been discarded, but it also has an axe skill that allows you to Energy Blast 4 to allow you to reduce the cost of one of your products, or I think specifically the product of this guy, but it shows maximum. It allows you to reduce the cost of that by Counterblast 1, and it also allows you to activate it, right? Or operate it, I should say. But instead of the dog promo, the dog boy promo, we're still playing the little robot Schweitz Eins here, which is just kind of interesting. Feel like that card is a no-brainer. Evergreen Transfer, whatever it's called, no one does, unfortunately. Even though I still think that card is pretty good. But oh well. The Lucky Real promo is finally a relatable player, maybe. Maybe they just got really unlucky, I don't know. Maybe they tested it and thought it was bad. I don't understand. But next up here, we have a Bladmire here. So this is also a different one because it's kind of a mix. Well, it's kind of similar to the previous one, except this time we have the actual Grade 2 from Festive Collection that allows you to search this card straight from deck and play it at the cost of Soul Blast 1. And then whenever you boost with it, if you give it the ability to boost, it is a 15k booster, so it's a pretty solid option. I feel like this is basically the list I would play if I were to play this iteration of Bladmire in set 4 when it comes out. The only difference I might make is I might cut Cage for something else, but I'm not entirely sure. I feel like Cage might not be as necessary. Oh, that's what I would do. I would cut Cage for the Servant Falcatia. I would play that instead, possibly. But other than that, it's the same general game plan, right? We're using Bladmire to do Bladmire things. The Voldirect Dragon to toolbox your soul, as well as use it in the early game, and then as well make it a huge booster with this here, because every time you put 4 cards face down in your bind zone, this guy gets plus 10k, making this a 20k, 30k booster, which in combination with this guy that gets a crit is kind of nasty, especially after you turn off your opponent's ability to use intercepts, right? So that's the general game plan that's going on here. Being placed on Brancate decks. Last one was Corn and Citrus. Oof, jeez. So you want to use Falcatia as a huge booster in that case? No, I just want to use Falcatia. She would not be able to get her power, right? Because she has to attack. So it's not about her being a booster, it's just having an extra attacker and putting stuff into soul. But we're also not seeing the Gear Colossus here, so maybe you don't need it. I don't know. But Then we have here the top 4
for the Vanguard Cup. We have here Alacalibria, Welstra, and Bladmeyer, which is just about, I think, the same team that we saw previously here. And we're going to see the same list. I looked at this like 5 different times, but if you'll notice, it'll be the same exact list as before. I don't know if it's that the Twitter account used the same codes accidentally, but it is going to be verbatim the same exact list. These are different people. In the image here, I took a long time looking at both the winners' images to see if it were different people, but they are. But this is just the same exact list, same rarities and everything as it was there. Maybe I'm wrong. I looked at it a bunch of times, but until now, I can only assume that this is the 4th place list that we just went over. Net deckers, I mean, to get the same exact code. That's pretty insane. At the same event, when the cards just came out, insane. They probably messed up the pictures. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I just don't know which one's the right one. But next we have ourselves 3rd place, who I actually have the correct codes for, which were Shiranui, Shoujo and Luard. Sorry, just need to check something. Yeah. And we can take a look at it here. As mentioned, the Luard list, or sorry, the Shiranui list is about the same as all the other ones. This one has a couple of different changes because you see we're playing here the purple overtrigger, which is interesting little addition. But other than that, they don't have the Esper idea at all. Not playing any copies of that. Instead, are opting to use the Shinri and the Ford here. Still playing the Stride support dragon. But other than that, it's just usual Shiranui. Then we have here the Shoujo Doji list, which is going to be very similar to the ones that we've seen before, except instead of one of the energy cyclers, they're playing here 2 of them, and none of the, I believe it's Kagachika, the grade 1 that allows you to put a stealth from drop into soul and also draw a card. So there seems to be something there with the energy cycler. I guess my guess is that they're somehow putting it into bind zone and then using it to guard again. I don't know how they're able to cycle it because it's not a stealth unit, but that's my only guess for why they would make space for this, especially when Shoujo Doji himself is energy blast reliant, and you have a couple of cards that also rely on counter blasts. But then we have ourselves here Luard, who is going to be hostage Luard. So we see the Liel here, who says if you have 2 or more cards in your bind zone, you can use this as a PG by putting those cards on the bottom of your deck. We have the hostage order here, and the hostage setter played at 4 copies, so that you can play this order. Instead of boosting, it allows you to, on your opponent's turn, guard with something on your field, which means that you can, with Luard's skill, call out a PG, guard with it for free, bind it, and then with this, put it back into your deck to do that over and over and over, continuously being able to guard. Which, you know, I believe you can also do this with any other trigger as well, such as the over trigger. You just won't be able to put it back with Luard's skill, right? Unless you do a crit specifically, but I think Liel might only specify normal units. I don't remember. But Luard is currently restricted where he can't use the Celagon here. So we see basically the same list, except there's none of the order package here. We don't see a Tetrafault. We don't see the Wisdom order. Instead, we just see this order being played here. And we're seeing almost max copies of ritual units. We're playing the Intercept one, the one that calls out a card, and the Owl. We're only seeing 2 more Fessa here, which is really interesting. 1 copy of the grade 3 that typically isn't played in the deck, and then 2 of this card here, which actually says if it's the 5th or more battle and your Vanguard's being attacked, it might be any unit, but an attack is being declared, you can actually bind this unit to then act as a PG and block the attack. So you can actually have multiple PG uses in this build, because you can guard with this PG and then call it back with Luard to then use it again with this to guard, and then also have this as a PG, and then also have this as a PG. So all in all, we technically have 7 PGs in this deck, and you can actually recycle them as well. And not take out, because you can put cards back into your deck. So
Weird. Doesn't her effect need the faded one, or do you just pay the cost and do nothing? Possibly, yeah. They possibly pay the cost and do nothing. I don't remember exactly, but I know they're playing her specifically to
Put the cards from bind back to deck.
don't the Andersons only work when they're guard from hand?
I don't know why they were playing 1 and 2 of them, if that's the case. So I don't know.
You can put back trigger units.
Oh, okay, so you can put back triggers. It's just any 2 cards face down and bind. Yeah, so you can put back. You can guard with your triggers, put them back, but it just doesn't act as a PG. Yeah.
This lure doesn't play the Daria set 3 tripleware either. No, I don't think any of the Luards I've seen have been playing that card, which is a Shadow Paladin card, actually, that allows you to search top 7, I think, for a Shadow Paladin card, add it to your hand, which allows you to search out your PGs, but they've opted to not see that from what I've been seeing. Not play that from what I've been seeing, I should say. Then we've got ourselves here the second place list here, which has quintuplets, Yosuba, Alden, and Shoujo Doji. Here is the quintuplets list. It is a list that I hate the most because it is a bunch of somewhat Highlander cards of different rarities, so it was really hard for me to like edit all the cards closer together. But I don't know much about this deck other than that it has an auto or instant win condition that can be fulfilled and you just instantly win the game, which is possibly what is being achieved here. I don't know if the trigger lineup is intentional or part of that win condition here, but this is the deck. You basically play all of the quintuplets and you have a little bit of space for a few other cards in the main deck. You can also return the Binded Owl, so yeah, that's true. Gross. Topped? It's like a Exodia top, essentially, yeah. Yep. Then we've got ourselves here Alden. We got ourselves a new Destined 1 Alden of Protection, coming out from set 4. So it's a pretty interesting list here. We're seeing 4 of Alden's buddy from set 13 when he first debuted as a standalone unit. We're seeing the triple rare here, played at 3 copies. We're seeing the Reverence Rush Dragon, who premium players know very well. We're actually seeing a copy of the Alden Order being played here, which allows you to counterblast one when Alden attacks. I believe you can call something out from your hand to get an additional attack, but I believe you can use Alden's skill for the same kind of cost, or the Divine skill for the same exact thing. But we're also seeing here the Undercover Tiger that a lot of players have been playing, because I believe this allows you to get 5k shield if you meet some sort of requirement, but it can also put itself, I think it puts another undercover card at the bottom of the deck to get 5k shield, and then you can put this in your main deck to count as an undercover card after you soul blast it, right? You also see the Gaon here, which is a destined or divine skill, I should say, exclusive card that if you have a divine skill you can countercharge, so that allows you to countercharge. And then we see everyone's favorites, the Tetrafalt, the Wisdom Order, and the Saragon. Strangely, not like super max copies, but I don't know what they're doing in the deck per se, if they're really adding a lot. It seems like if you just run into these in the early game, you can use them. Otherwise, I don't know if you'll be able to activate them as well, because this is Counterblast, and Alden's skill is Counterblast as well, and his order is Counterblast as well. But pretty interesting. Seems pretty normal to not run max copies, of course. What's consistency, right? Then they also have here the Alden, the like divine skill booster, essentially, where if your Vanguard is from the anime, you get 5k, and if you boost the Vanguard, you get a 2k, so the 15k booster here, which is pretty interesting. But yep, that's the Alden list. That's what it's shaping out to be. Being financially responsible by playing 2 Tetrafall. Maybe, or maybe they just didn't have space for it. But I do like how it has a lot going on here, which I find kind of cool. Then finally we have ourselves yet another Shoujo Doji list, which again has just the one of the energy cycler. I don't know what the sauce is here per se, but hey, it is there. Other than that, the list is generally exactly the same, right? So if you're playing this upcoming in set 3 when it drops in English, maybe this is the list that you have to play. I really like that they're only playing one of this, because I think I only have 1 extra copy of this energy cycler, so that sounds great to me, right? But
Pretty much the same as all the other lists that we've looked at. Finally, we're gonna see here the winners of the Ultimate Vanguard Cup. It's actually going to be Raziel, Varga, and Michu. So here we got ourselves the Raziel, which is kind of still playing the same sort of things. They really didn't add anything here from set 4. Raziel did get himself 2 cards, specifically a triple rare grade 0, which I don't see a single copy of it here at all, which is pretty interesting here. We see the Obligator Dragon, which they can use to search out their orders here, which then help them out with their Tetrafaults. But they're also playing out this order here, which is extremely interesting because it allows you to manipulate your top deck and call something out at a cost of Soul Blast 1. And other than that, the list is generally the same. You also see them playing a single copy of the Liao, which they can use to actually PG with. But no hostage package here either. Yep, they do indeed run that one. The orders aren't so pretty. I mean, this one first place, so maybe they're onto something. I'm just gonna play a second Kagachika because the second might be able to loot PGs easier. That's what I'm thinking, but I've seen so many lists that are specifically playing one of the entry cycler. I wish I could tell you why. I don't really understand it, but there it is, right? How is Leo supposed to work with hostage? You just play her from hand and guard with her. I don't know what's getting bound per se. Oh, I know what it is. So I think it's being played here as a tech against Bladmeyer, which, if you remember from the beginning, was the second most played deck, right? And that forces you to bind 2 of your rear guards, so you can play Liel as like a counter to that, and then have it as a PG as well. And I believe that gets around the Divine skill, right? Because it doesn't have Sentinel. So I think it's mainly because of that. Seems I was right. Obligator is the wave. It seems to be the case. They are indeed doing the anime thing. This is also a very anime looking deck, to be honest, because it doesn't have any of the upgrades from set 4, right? But then we got ourselves here the Varga list, which looks about the same as the other ones we've looked at. We got a couple of different things here. We have the cat, which is always nice to see, and we also have the Gendiva grade 1 that just says, I believe if something was retired after this boost, you can bind it to draw a card. And we also have ourselves here the cup, which we've seen before. Which is rescuing, yes. You'd have 2 in bind if you fight Doji, is all I can think of. Well, you get those cards back. Well, I guess it's, oh no, it's doing that battle, right? Yeah, so yeah, that's true. That's valid too. Yeah, it would also work against those Doji. So the 2 top decks actually put cards in your bind zone, and you can put them back and have a PG with Liel, right? That makes sense, yeah. Because even though you get them back at the end of turn, you'll have them in bind zone for you to activate Liel. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But then the last deck we have here is going to be the Michu list, which is going to be pretty standard for the most part. This is just a collab with Shadowverse. This is just a critical trigger here. The order lineup is a bit questionable. I've seen so many different ratios when it comes to the order lineup. Other than that, the units are generally the same. We're playing not max copies of the Nonoka grade 1. Typically, this one's actually playing 4 copies max. 4 copies of the new Nonoka, 4 copies of the new Michu, and 4 copies of the new Ride Skipper that allows you to go into the new Michu. Then we got ourselves the Eureka, because you actually have so much soul now. Before, this deck used to actually have a soul problem. Now it's the exact opposite, where it has too much soul, doesn't know what to do with it. So you can actually use the Eureka to empty that out. And then we're playing 4 of the card from Lyrical Set 4 that allows you to actually put a card from your hand into soul to, I believe, get a cannonball from drop. This is just generally the typical list that you'll see. The main difference is that you'll probably see less copies of the Nonoka being played, and you would then add in maybe like the grade 3 from Divine's Lyrical 1 that allows you to put grade 3s, or yeah, I think specifically grade 3 cards on the bottom of your deck, so you can recycle your cannonballs, but more importantly, your Persona Cross Rides, right? Yes, and we're using the Sakura Miko here, which is another collab with Michu. However, this does have a continuous skill, so if you fight against Bladmire and use a divine skill on you, you will lose the name Michu, whatever Michu's name is, that this has as an ability. So just keep that in mind. And that does it for the Ultimate Vanguard Cup here. Here's the top 16. As mentioned, as you can see here, these two decks do allow you to bind, which is why some players have opted into play the Lemme. The Alec saw a lot of showings here as well. But these two decks are still the top dogs when it comes to Varga, and Shiranui still really good after set 4. Specifically Shiranui, that hasn't changed since Festival Collection. That was so long ago. Two sets have come out, and this deck is still relatively unchanged and still on top here. We didn't unfortunately get to see the Chris Rain list here, but it exists, trust me. All right. We have got to neuter Dragon Empire, get the hose. Yep. Just snip, 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 snip. Snip them all out. We can't have any more of this ever again. But here is the full pie chart, right? Here's what it looks like in full. And let's jump over to the official Bushiroad tournament, which I believe was the Chiho Cup here, which has their own pie chart as well for all the participants, and it looks relatively the same, right? The only real outlier is we didn't see any Luticias on the Ultimate Vanguard side, I think, but we do see some PN here. And then we got ourselves the top 16 breakdown, thanks to Fuzzy Paradox, of course, who provided this graphic. And we can see all the decks that were played in the top cut, the top 16 here. And you can see that above those, we had Varga and Shiranui. Varga and Shoujo Doji as the most popular ones. Shoujo Doji and Alec tied here. And you actually had a three-way tie here between Shiranui, Luard, and Bladmire, which is really interesting that Bladmire and Leonard are actually getting up there, that they're seeing as much using and as much topping from this one event as Shiranui. No leverage list? Bro, you're so impatient. You're so impatient because literally the next slide, there's a leverage list. I'm about to just not show it because you want to be so impatient and booing me. So we're just going to stay on this slide for the rest of the stream. But yeah, so here is the top 16 from this tournament here. We'll go through each of these decks here, so don't even ask which one you want to see because we'll be going through all of it. So next we got here the from 16th. In the top 16th, the 16th place team, we had ourselves here Leverdress here, which is a new deck. Don't nag me. How dare you? How dare you try and nag me and see if it works? We've got a new deck here in Leverdress from set 4 for Third Cam, and it is pretty interesting here. So we have almost 4 copies of all of the main support cards, minus their countercharger, which is kind of interesting here. We see them playing the Philander, which is kind of interesting as well. And we've also seen here the Frozen Resentment played at 4 copies. You do end up having a good amount of soul since the countercharger does go into soul for this, so you can use that. And allows you to bring cards back from drop, since you need a relatively full board for this deck to go off. And we're also seeing here the Tideline Dragon. Pretty nice pick. Persona Variety Soul Blast, choose another unit, the unit you chose, and Tideline get 10k. You can use that in combination with this, that allows it to get another 10k and attack from the back row to get some pretty nice numbers here. Damn, Sorga. Only 2 Fox Only is very brave. Yeah, they're different rarities, so there's 4 copies. I got the Tideline, but turn 4 locked is iffy. I mean, it is what it is. No Gabbrig. Nope, no Gabbrig here at all. Instead, the Soul Blast went into the Tide Line. I don't know if that's a better option. I have not been able to test this because it does not work in CFA.
Next, we have ourselves here Kyrie from that same team. It's a relatively standard Kyrie list.
You know, it has basically all the same Kyrie stuff that we're kind of used to seeing. 2 of the grade 4, 4 of the grade 4 dragon, support dragon, 4 of the energy cycler, 4 of the card from set 1, 4 of the card from the vines, or not the vines, from lyrical set 4, the Penelope, 4 of the promoscape rider, Eureka, and the aura. So you can get yourself not Forbidodol, which is kind of interesting, but I guess you don't really need to search your grade 4 that easily, or that much, I should say, because you can get it easily. Instead, we're seeing the Radiance Calburn, which is kind of interesting. Also, that allows you to search out this Blitz order, which just says if your Vanguard's been hit, you can guard for 30k shield this turn. And then, yes, they also have the Mermaid line here that you got from Divine Set 1. So pretty nice. If I were to play Kyrie, it would probably be this exact list, I think. I might play one less of the I might play one less of this, of the aura, and play another Eureka, but I don't know.
The 30k shield blitz is good. It is indeed good.
The Mermaid line is good as well. Searching out the regalias for the blitz. Yep. Which, I mean, if you're going up against Shiranui, you want to search this, right? If you're going up against I mean, mainly that, right? You just want to be able to get your Elementaria.
Typically, they also
would slot in, instead of this, they would slot in the Angel Ladder, right? For Shiranui as well. But, yeah.
I feel like they should do that, but then again, they bounce
all their cards, so they don't really need to protect their board.
And I want to try Philander Leverage Us. Maybe it'll do better than Hostage Leverage Us. Hostage Leverage Us sounds miserable, but yeah. Philander kind of makes sense to me, but again, I haven't really been able to mess around with the deck as much. And then the last card, or deck, I should say, we have here is going to be Bladmire, which is very similar to one of the lists we saw earlier here. I think it's verbatim exactly the same, right? As one of the other lists that we saw. Pretty much exactly the same. Not much to go over. Again, we've got the hostage, or not hostage, the boost package here. The Falcor, right? The Velder Rock, no Colossus, no Falcracia. Then we've got ourselves here the 14th place list. So if we're ever said no Zorga, stop trying to neg me. I'm tired of being negged over here, but we got Zorga here. With everyone's favorite card, Morpho! Yay! Woo! Fucking Morpho, let's go! We got ourselves Morpho, we got ourselves the Veleno Blitz, we got ourselves the Watermelon Blitz, we got ourselves the wine here, we got ourselves a bunch of orders here. Let's go. So yeah, we got ourselves only 3 Karma, no roaming prison dragons. We got ourselves only these as our units, and then a butt ton of orders. Let's freaking go. No Elementaria, 4 unit PGs. Very, very interesting to say the least. Just about everything works. Yeah, sure. I don't know how I feel about these 2 orders, but it is what it is. This, yeah, I made it to top cut. I don't know what to tell you. It's a Zorga list. It worked, right? But yeah. Then we got ourselves a Luard list. Watermelon is a funny card, yeah. Hey, if it works, it works. Luard list that was also kind of annoying because it has a bunch of different not ratios, but rarities for stuff. So I had to like squeeze everything together, which is why this took me a zillion years to add it together. But it's kind of similar to the one we saw before. It has the hostage package, no Liel, but it does have the set order and the girl. It does have the PGs. It is playing the undercover tiger here, so you put a copy of itself and it gets 5k shield on the bottom of the deck. So pretty interesting for the most part. 4 Morpheza here, pretty interesting. If only it didn't cost CB, yeah, exactly.
But then we got ourselves an Equilibria list, which is kind of the reverse of the first one we saw, right? Because they have 2 Ford, 4 Shinri. I think the other one was the other way around. That's kind of interesting. But other than that, it's relatively the same affair, right? Bracco Force, 4 copies of everything, right? We got the general game plan. How Japan is playing Equilibria so far. But then we got ourselves here an Olden list. Excuse me. This one here is really interesting because we have ourselves here the... I don't know why. I curse this guy's name out all the time. And I can never remember his name now. Shit. What is this dumb bastard's name? Sejas. Yes. There we go. So we got the Sejas and the Forbidden Doll, which is really interesting because you could use it to get out Sejas and the new triple rare. But yeah, we got the this guy whose name I'm also blanking out, but we also got the promo, which is kind of cool. But yes, it has the order package. Oh no, how dare you play consistent cards in my card game? How dare you? And we also see the grade 1 here that also allows you to counter charge, by the way, and does also work in Olden. It just needs an Olden name. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. None of the 20k booster, or sorry, 20k interceptor, I should say specifically. Then we've got ourselves a Fennel list here, which is interestingly playing this new girl here. Sitting there menacingly, who I forgot what she does, to be honest. So let's take a look at it. And it's not on. Oh, it is on. Whoops, that's the wrong one. That's right. This one. There we go. Whoops. Okay. I don't know how that closed it. She's a new girl from set 4. She's what? I'm covering it. It's a grade 1. I know she was revealed kind of late, but I don't remember what she does. Or is she from Lyrical? These are grade 2s, that's why. And this girl, when she boosts, if you play 2 or more orders this turn, she gets 10 engaged into that battle. Yep, she is indeed a big girl. That's a big old girl. The girl with the cats and the burgers. She big, bro. She big. This girl here. That makes a lot of sense. If you play 2 or more orders, she gets huge. And then this is discount Stegria, or in-engine Stegria, and here's actual Stegria. Other than that, the list is pretty standard. Most lists are cutting down on 1 of the trick-or-treats just to make space for everything. But yeah. Stegria probably consists 90% of the deck's overall cost. I mean, it is what it is. It might be different now that she got reprinted, right? She got reprinted, right? Or no, I'm thinking of Vashbon. Never mind. Take a shot and die, I guess. Yeah, only 2 Persona, which is the same reason, just to make space. But yeah, I've seen that. That's been kind of the case since Divine Set 1, essentially, right? Then we got ourselves our first Leishafall list here, which unfortunately is nothing crazy. I don't like lists that play double cyclers. I feel like that's so lazy and unnecessary. Like, you can definitely use 4 cards for something else, but we're playing 4 copies of each cycler here, 1 French at pink, and then 4 copies of everything else, the Eureka and the mouse. Nothing too crazy here. The cards that I've been messing around with Leishafall is Seiya from, I think, either set 1 or the Lyrical Trial deck that allows you to on-place Soul Blast 1. Look at the top card. Chris Rain Mikoto actually used it in the anime for Chris Rain, but I'm using it in Lucifer Fall because it allows you to easily fill up your board, so you can very easily put stuff into Soul. But I don't think it actually, you know, works out as well. I don't think it's as necessary because you could like put it behind the Vanguard, Soul Blast once. You have so much Soul, especially after the Divine Skill. Look at the top card, add it to your hand, and discard one or call it out, so you can very easily, you know, get access to your deck if you need to fill up your board really quickly. But I don't think she really has that much of an issue with filling up her board. But yeah, the deck is pretty simple, to be honest.
Playing Fisher makes no sense. Also, French deck clash with Leisure Fall's attack pattern. I mean, no, the French deck makes sense because you could use it in the early game. You can also use it to just be able to bounce stuff to hand, right? Rather than going to Soul every single turn. So, because you could like bounce the Eureka, you can bounce these two and then like just put back row into Soul or whatever, however you want to play it. Also allows you to protect your units, right? So you don't have to worry about stupid ass Shiranui or anything like that. So it's also a backup if you don't see the grade 4. The grade 2 that you have 4 of that restands. Sounds like they would have selected heavy triple wear and just said, okay, good enough. I mean, yeah. This is also the very first week, so we'll see how the list evolves over time. I don't know what to put in. I put in generics. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I don't know why everyone wants to dunk on people putting in generics, but it is what it is, right? And then that's it. That's top 13. There is a Leonoran list, but we'll look at it later. Then we got ourselves here 9 through 12 here. Have some pretty interesting picks here, such as this Raziel here, who actually does play a single copy of the new grade 0, not in the right deck, but just does play a single copy. They actually play Leonoran's coming soon. They actually play 4 of the Nobia, which is interesting because most of them have dropped it. 3 of the Kadwala. Very interesting list here. No hostage package at all. I mean, they're not limiting the creative. You're not forced to play it, so they're not limiting anything. You could play other options. It's just if people don't know what to play, they're just gonna play the generics, and I think that's fine. Sure, there might be better options, but just make those choices. No one's holding a gun to your head and telling you, no, you have to play Caterpile. You have to play every generic and lyrical, right? Like, you're fine. You can play it. You can play whatever you want, right? It's just some people don't want to do that. They rather just build a deck, fill it up with generics, and then adjust it afterwards. And I think that's okay. The same way people shouldn't judge you for your deck choices when you're not playing generics, you shouldn't judge people for playing generics. So I think it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't stress on it too much. But then we have ourselves here finally Impaldio, which the list kind of looks like what I've been expecting and seeing, where I think this guy is like $20 or something like that in Japan, or like 10, because a lot of people are playing it in Impaldio. It's like okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the reprints we see in the promo reprints, but we'll see. Other than that, it's pretty interesting. We're seeing finally here copies of the X Striker Ballard or whatever, which is kind of funny. But if it works in a deck, I'll play it. Right? I would love to see this guy being played. But we got 4 Borderline, 3 Bull Red. They're actually playing 2 of the Blitz Order, which is cool because you can use it with this guy. None of the Lady Fencer, which kind of sucks. Instead, they opted off to play this guy, who just says, like, I think on play Soul Blast 1, if you have a set order. No, Soul Blast 1, draw 1, discard 1. And if you have a set order, he gets 5k. So very basic effect, but you always have a set order, so it works out. Cards should be more powerful than niche cards. I don't know about that. I don't know about that per se. I don't think that's the case either. You mean like in archetype cards? That's not really the case because everyone's playing all of their in archetype cards and then like filling it out with generics. I wouldn't say that generic should not be stronger than like a common or a rare or something like that. That wouldn't make any sense, right?
I understand not judging part, but if the person complains constantly about how the deck is not winning and refuses to listen to advice, I mean, that's on a case-by-case basis, right? If you have a specific person that is doing that, then you address them that way, right? But if this is just some random Japanese person whose name you don't even know, because majority of us can't read Japanese, that just threw generics in the deck. Like, that's just what it is. Especially considering they had one day to build the entire deck when it just came out. But I think it's fine, right? I was just saying specifically, I don't like playing or I should say 2 play sets of discard cyclers, because I feel like that's obsessive. But yeah, that is what it is. That's what people do. And I think that's fine. People can play Vanguard the way they want to play Vanguard. Then the last list for this team is going to be the Alacalibria, which is again kind of the general thing that we've been seeing lately. The Blitz Searcher eats more CB. Yeah. And it's also not that necessary to get the Blitz order or an order, right? So unfortunately, my FFR Lady Fencers will not see any play. But then we got ourselves another Impal Deal list, which is kind of exactly the same as the previous one, except they're not playing any copies of, unless I accidentally took it out, but they're not playing any copies of the I'll look it up. Hold on, let me just double check. I might have made an editing mistake, because you see I had to move everything because I have everything in different rarities. It annoys me to no hell, and this isn't really the player's fault, but it annoys me so much when I look at these deck lists and all the cards have different rarities, because they don't fit on screen, so I have to manually go in and edit. So when I'm doing like 50 deck lists that I think we have today, it makes it take way longer than it needs to. No, I did not make an editing mistake. So yeah, they're just not playing any of that grade 2. They're just playing everything in engine, essentially. And instead they're playing here the Energy Cycler. And that's a deck. Pretty interesting. They also have the Forbididol, which is kind of cool, right? It makes more sense to play this, right? If you have Forbididol, because you can search out both of those. I kind of like that a lot, to be honest. I might do something like that. I don't think the deck is energy reliant, right? Nothing uses energy. It's just Counterblast, right? I don't think anything uses energy. I don't really remember. Because I might play this exact same list, to be honest. Yeah, I might be playing this exact same list when the deck comes out. I might be verbatim this selecting, because I really like using Forbididol. I really like using this guy. So yeah, I might play the exact same list. Yeah, FFR Zorga's arrived. Nice. Excuse me. Pretty interesting. Then we got ourselves here Dayusha, which is kind of general what we've seen. Nothing has really changed for Dayusha here. No energy, but eat CB like a fat kid at the Willy Wonka's factory, which is fine. So I can use the Energy Cycler, which is good. Then we got Alacalibria, which again is about the same as we've been looking at, except this one actually plays a copy of the grade 3. I feel like the other lists are correct. I would just not play this grade 3 at all, right? And just play everything else. I'd probably go closer to all the other lists, but yeah. Then we got ourselves the Shoujo Doji list. This one here does not have that one copy of the Energy Cyclers. This is the list that essentially Click was saying he would play, because you got yourself the Kagechika there that you can use. Other than that, generally about the same, except instead of the Blitz, they're playing the Radiance Calvert. But other than that, everything is about the same. So I hope you have yourselves this fella and this fella. I managed to pull 4 of these from Festival Collection. You know, they're hollowed, right? And he's like $20 hollow, like the previous version, but like the normal version is like $10, because people don't realize that the ones in Festival Collection are the same one as the promo foils. But I was able to pull. I already had it. Not foil, but I just had the card and I pulled 4 of it hollow. Unfortunately, all my reprints were this guy, but that's fine. Hope you got your copies of this and this promo, which did get reprinted a couple of times, so hopefully you got access to that. Then we got ourselves Drag Jeweled here, which is looking pretty interesting. There is nothing new here. This is basically set 2 drag jeweled. The newest card here in this list is the Bifrons. Everything else is relatively standard for drag jeweled, to be honest. All right, nothing new to write home about here. But then in this scene, we also have the Arkwright, which you have releasing pretty soon here. One of the interesting choices they've made here is to play this here, the Panthera Slasher, the double rare from set 2, which allows you to search out an order, which is kind of cool. Kind of makes sense, right? Because you can discard your monsters and instantly put that into the order zone, so it's not like it's a waste, and you can get your set order pretty easily, right? I just haven't seen it played on a lot of lists. Likewise, I haven't seen this guy played in lists either, because you can discard with this guy, you can discard this to search this out, and this guy says, I think when he's discarded, you can counterblast one to call him out or something like that. So they do kind of synergize. Kaiju Mama is dope, yeah. So for the tournament that we're doing in the Discord, I know I'm going to be playing Lucier for one of them, and then for one of the other ones, I will more than likely be playing Arkwright as well. I don't know if I'll repeat a deck, but I would definitely be playing at least those two during that tournament. But the last list the last part for here is going to be the 9th place list, which is pretty interesting because they made some interesting choices here. They got just one Nobia, just one Kadwala. They got 2 of the Leo. So again, there's Shoujo Doji and there's Bladmeyer. They got 1 of this card, which is from set 12 that says, so on play Soul Blast 1, bot deck a card, your opponent draws a card. I don't know why they would play that, but that's interesting. Aside from Zorga, I can't think of any reasons to play this right now. Which one? The one on the 23rd? Doesn't the set drop on the 30th? Yeah, so there's a tournament on the 23rd, but there are 3 tournaments in September. The week after the tournament, the week after the set drops, there's going to be 3 tournaments that weekend, back to back to back. So you guys can test out all your decks. The 6th, the 7th, and the 8th in the Discord. By then, hopefully everyone, since the week later, will have all the later cards. That's the ones I'm talking about. I know it's a bit ahead of time, but we're kind of getting there already, right? No one's playing Hostage. Nope. Not a lot of people were playing it before. It's a neat idea, but it's not going to win you any games. But pretty interesting options played here. You also don't see... Oh, you do see... Here it is. Here's the grade 2. The grade 0. 2 of the grade 0. I keep seeing the number of... The quantity of cards. I think that's the grade for some reason. But yeah, you're seeing here 2 of the grade 0 from the set. So, very interesting list here. Very, very interesting. Neptune will be a busy month. Yep. September is going to be hopefully a good month as well. Here's the Varga list. Kind of the same as everything that we've been looking at, right? No real notes here. Everything is about the same. Yeah. And then we got here a Charmant list that I also really like. I really like cards that use Forbidodal, or decks that use Forbidodal, right? Or builds that use Forbidodal, because we're playing 1 Forbidodal here in order to search out this card that I love so much. Because she allows you to on-place countercharge 1, right? If she's not played from hand. And then she goes back to the bottom of the deck. So it's really nice. You can discard her early, call it out with this. You know, you can do a bunch of shenanigans. It's really nice. We're also playing here the new card from Divine Set 1. I would play this at more than 2 copies, but that's just me. They're playing a lot of interesting ratios here because they're only playing 1 copy of this in main deck and 1 copy of this in main deck, and they're only playing 1 copy of the Colby as well. But hey, they're making it work. They're also playing here 4 of the Precia and then 3 of the French Epic, which is interesting. As well as the grade 3 here, right? So you can definitely drop this if you don't like it, and then just play extra copies of this girl, right? Like drop this grade 3, play extra copies of this, drop these 2, and like play an extra copy of this, and then maybe like the grade 1 or something else if you'd like. Pretty interesting. None of the new cards from the set 4, of course, but that is your 9th through 12th. Then we got ourselves our 5 through 8 here.
We're going to take a look at this Welstra list here, which, again, no Dog Boy. What the hell is going on? Is the promo not available? I don't understand. Not a single Dog Boy in this list, unless I not seen this correctly or there's an editing mistake that I made, but I don't think so because it fits in, right? I don't understand it. I'm actually buying a Shama core of someone soon. Nice. Yeah, the deck is still going to be good. This deck is one of the decks that has given the most bang for its buck in terms of how like competitively viable it's been since it's released. But I don't understand it here, but it is what it is. Here is your revert list. We actually have a revert list here. I would say using the mermaid line, but that's her line technically. And they're using this here, which is pretty interesting. That just says when your card is returned to your hand by your grade 3 or greater Vanguard's ability, you can counterblast one, put her to soul to call out a grade 3 from your hand. So very interesting to see that being played there. Your grade 1 makes counterblast such a non-issue. They don't need the dog. That dog is way too good. It does not make any sense to not play any copies of that. Did Bushi mess up their promos? Did all the source coincidentally not get the Welstra promo? Wow, I doubt it, right? Because they're usually super consistent with that, so I really doubt it. I feel like we would have heard about that. So I think it's just that they've either not gotten it because it's too expensive, or they've just opted to not play it because it's not as good. I don't know. I find it strange that a promo is harder to get than a triple rare when the triple rare came out a day before, but yeah, I don't know how that works in Japan, right? But this is the vert list, you know, kind of all the cards from the list, plus Eureka, the new generic card, and a cycler and pedestrian. All right. Preview to it, I guess, maybe. But I find it hard to believe, but maybe. Right, especially because some of these have like max rarity. They're not max rarity, but they have high rarity roster cards, right? So they I don't know. Here's another Shermo list. This one is basically kind of what I was talking about here. This is kind of how like I would build a deck if I were to be playing it, right? Basically something like this when it comes to basically set Lyrical 1. This is basically how I'd build the deck. I might cut down on some copies of this, but I feel like this is really good to play, and this is really good to play. Colby is also really nice, and you can reduce copies of these in the main deck. So I'd probably cut this down a little bit. I'd probably cut this down to 0 and play the, well, these both use Energy Blast, but I think it'll be fine. To play maybe the Precia, the discard cycler. So it's basically, yeah. Basically. That is that. Then here is the 6th place team, which is just going to be Shoujodoji Shiranui. Keep confusing the two of them. Pretty typical. Nothing really out of the ordinary here. There's no Shinri. Yep. Then we got ourselves here our first Leonorn list, which is ironic because a lot of the Leonorn are playing broccoli still, which is crazy because everyone thought we were going to get rid of broccoli, and then the price of broccoli went down. This weekend's results came out. Price of broccoli went right back up, right? Not by much, right? It went down to like 79 and jumped back up to $1.79. But yeah, here you go. Here's a Leonard list. This one's pretty standard. It's just 4 of everything. They're actually playing the Energy Cycler here, which is cool, but they're also playing the new excuse me, grade 1 from set 3 that we're going to be able to see soon. So pretty interesting. But yeah, both broccoli and essentially a broccolis, right? Between these two that have the same effect. Huh. I wonder if you could do a hostage Leonorn list. Here we have Morphonica. I don't think they have the new order. I think that was my go, so this is basically the general list. I don't like the cycler, but it's good. Yeah, reliable broccoli. Yeah. Then we got ourselves here. I would cut the cycler for 2 resonance. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I like having the discard cycler, especially since it's an older deck that doesn't use energy. But I don't think adding it. I mean, maybe, I don't know, because you have to play the grade 3 and the grade 2 in the front row. Huh? If only you could put it in the back row. But here is your first 2 4th. Yep, we have 2 Chaos here, 2 Vargas, 2 Bladmeyers, a Michu, Leah Shafel, Luticia, Leonorn, Shoujodoji, and Welstra. Let's go. Let's take a look at them. So we got ourselves the Welstra list here. Again, pretty standard list, nothing to write home about here. We got ourselves the Lutetia list. It's not using any of the newer cards, so it's kind of the standard Lutetia list we've been seeing here. The only real outliers being the Aldehyde and the Precia being played at 1. Pretty interesting, but hey, it is what it is, right? And then we got ourselves a Leonine list. Oh, look at that! Look at this nice little hostage package that we've got here. As I was trying to allude to, you guys didn't catch on to that. So yeah, this list is playing the hostage package, so you can use this, call out the set order, use it to boost, have your grade 2s in the back row boost, and have this guy boost, and also use him to intercept from the back row as well, which is kind of wild. But only one of the grade 2 though. Yep, I don't know how they're getting access to it, but it is there. It's a thing, right? Shard hostage magnolia, but it's with a different mindset. I don't really like hostage magnolia, to be honest, but I can see it. I feel like the deck is fine without it. I don't feel like the hostage part adds too much. If I see a PG call from the top 3, call it. Yeah, that's kind of like how me and my fiance have magnolia build, but instead of hostage, we're playing Ghost Chase, which is less consistent. It's just more fun. But yeah, pretty standard aside from this stuff here, right? Then we got ourselves a Chaos list, which they all kind of look the same, to be honest, right? So what exactly makes the deck hostage? Yeah, it's the fact that people just call it the hostage package because you can insert index, you can constantly reuse PGs. This grade 2 says on play Soul Blast 1, play or put this into your order zone, and then it says this at the beginning of, or not the beginning, once when you get attacked, you can choose one of your units and put it into the guardian circle. So essentially it allows you to choose any unit, be front row, back row, and guard with it. So you can guard with your back row. So a lot of decks like Raziel can revive their PGs, Lord can revive their PGs, revive their triggers, whatever, guard with it, and then have ways to put those cards back into the deck so they can constantly loop it. Basically have almost infinite heals and PGs, never die, as if they were holding you hostage in that game of Card Fight Vanguard. That's where the name comes from. But here is the cast list, which is kind of standard affair. It's 4 of all of the main chaos cards, 2 of the Agmanta, 1 of the Derek, 4 of the Energy Cycler, 1 of the Luminia because she counts as multiple cards, and then these triggers because they have different names, right? They count as double names in Soul. And then the Quinn Lu, because you can use her with this guy to be your auto win condition. So silly. So the PG on rearguard when forced to guardian circle procs the sentinel effects. Yep, you do have to discard for it, but yes, I thought it was from hand. Nope, doesn't have to be from hand. It's just whenever it's on guardian circle. So if there was a way to intercept, as you can with a hostage order, it would activate. Yep. I'm going to attack it from against roll list. That's where I'm at. Nice. But that is chaos. Then we got ourselves Lichafel here, which is very similar to the list we saw before, except they made a little bit more space here. So they're actually playing the Stegria, which is interesting. They reduced the cyclers just to 2 each, which is fine. They're also not playing any of the grade 3 that on plays counterblast draw, which is interesting. Instead, replacing that with Stegria, which kind of does the same thing, except it's not on place. It's just kind of on place, right? But it's when it attacks, right? So an interesting choice here. They're also playing it this order, right? Which allows your front row to get 5k for counterblast 1. And they're also playing 2 of the crossing illuminaries. So I guess they're trying to use 1 on turn 1, use the other one on turn 2. I don't really know why they're playing 2 of it per se, but hey, it's there. Maybe to search it out with this Stegria, I don't know. Right? Maybe, but pretty interesting to see. On the order engine, I was using the Punk Girls. The order engine for Punk Girls. I don't know.
The deck is pretty simple right now. I hope they get some support in set 5. I like the deck, it's just a little bit too simple. But I feel like it definitely has some potential to do some stuff. It just needs a way to more consistently get like PGs, and then the deck is like fire. Absolute fire. All of the PGs that say put to Garden Circle work, and the PGs from the older formats don't work with the set order. Yep, because they just say put, and the set order puts. But it should be the same thing as the other cards that say if I'm on Guardian Circle, get 5k shield or whatever. But we got ourselves a Varga list here, which is so far the only one that's a little bit stands out, because they're actually playing 2 of the Crow. That says you can actually retire something, and they're also playing the Virginia line here, just for the grid one though. So that's a nice little wrinkle. And then the last one we have here, oh no, we have one more, because for some reason there was like a tie in Swiss for second place. We have a Michu list, which is basically exactly the same as the previous Michu list, except they're playing 1 less of the Nonoka here, in place of playing, I guess, more of the set orders. Other than that, it's kind of exactly the same, right? 4 of all the cards you need. So we got Bladmire here. This is the more general list that doesn't run the order. But this is a bit more of a sort of basic one that still has the Farcacia, still has the promo card, right? Has the Colossus again, right? So pretty interesting. And then we got ourselves another Chaos list. It was basically the same as the other one, except they've added in a couple of little interesting cards here. So they have Unite the Sky. They have only 3 the Grade 1 Chaos. Hello, or Makani. Hello. They got here the Ford. They got here the Clockwise and the Bifrons. So nice little different options here. Otherwise, this deck is generally the same, right? They just play a couple of different tech options, which is kind of cool to see, since Chaos has that capability to do that. But general game plan is about the same. And now we can look at the first place list, or the first placing list. The top 4 is what I'm trying to say here. So we've got here in 4th place, if you haven't guessed, it's the list we didn't look at. So we have here the Varga list here from the 4th place team. So they were 5th in Swiss, 4th place overall. At the end of the tournament here, it's the Varga list. Looks pretty standard, right, to what we've been seeing so far. Then we got ourselves a Shoujo Doji list that is also pretty standard, except for the inclusion of LeChuga. Oh, they managed to fit in 2 of those somehow, but hey, why not? And then we got ourselves here the Alicalibia, which is kind of the standard list, right? A lot of the stuff that we've seen, you have the LeChuga. The only unstandard thing here is they actually play 3 of the grade 3, which is kind of crazy, but it's there. None of the bracket force, instead the grade 3. Then we've got the 3rd place team here, who is going to be the first team that came out of Swiss, 1st in Swiss, 3rd overall. It's going to be a Shoujo Doji list similar to the ones that we were seeing before, right, with the energy cyclers and all that jazz. The 1 copy of the energy cycler, it's going to use the boost version of the Bladmire list here, you know. They're also using here the Dual Nation card, which is pretty interesting, because that's the one that says, you know, based on the set orders that you have, you can look at the top cards of your deck, put 1 into Soul. So it actually does activate with that, which is kind of crazy. So that's kind of cool to see. And then we got ourselves Wallstar, and the dog promo does exist, because we actually see the 3rd place team here only playing 2 of them for some reason. I would be playing 4 of it, but hey, what do I know? But other than that, it's pretty similar to all the other lists that we've seen. Andra? Cryandra. Then we got ourselves here the 2nd place team, which is going to be the list with the trial deck Leonorin that we saw in 15th place out of Swiss. The Shiranui list looks relatively about the same as we've seen. No Esperidia, only 2 of the Dual Nation and the Shinri, but everything else is about the same here, right? I'm gonna play Mado as my starter, Madao as my starter. It's given PCD turn 1 assuming, and they don't ask about G-Zone. Yeah. Then we got ourselves here the Leonor list, which is interesting. So they have the trial deck Leonor here to, you know, abuse the fact that it is diversity cut, and this technically counts as a unique card. Not that it mattered much because they only got to 15, so they barely bubbled in.
Madoya.
Then we got ourselves here the Leonor in grade 2. Those Aurora. But other than that, it's pretty standard, right? 4 Rosarium, 4 Atlantis, 4 of Parcea, I think. 4 of the Cycler, 4 Broccoli, 4 of the Man Broccoli. To get the new ride line treatment? Nah, her ride line's still good. She'll be fine. Yeah, Broccoli forever.
And then the Lord list here.
It's kind of different from the other ones. No. Hostage. Actually playing 2 of the triple rare that searches out Shadow Paladin cards. Painkiller is back, and they're actually playing the 10k that gets a lot. That, you know, the beater, the ritual beater. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I kind of want Vanguard to get the new ride line treatment. Yeah, Flagbeard definitely needs a new ride line. Around me,
Aurora's. Oh no, she has a good ride line. She has access to a good ride line already. Oh no, we should give her another good one. Wow.
But playing the purple over trigger as well.
And then finally we got ourselves here the first place team, which is gonna be Team Dragon Empire again. Shiranui,
Shoujo Doji, and Varga, all kind of the same list that we've been looking at today. Nothing crazy, nothing different from any of these aside from the Varga player
playing the Virgilla line.
Other than that, everything else here is pretty standard, right? As what we've seen so far. And that has been what essentially Japan is playing week 1 of Divine Set 3. Sorry, 4.
Entire makeover. Yeah, he might get the barrel treatment. I'm pretty sure we'll just get a new grade 1 and 2 and a new grade 3 and a couple new cards.
We'll see. All right. I realized not even halfway through, but some way through that is going to be way too long for a video, so I'll see what I can do, but we'll find out. Either way, I have to run away, have some dinner. Thank you guys for coming through to the stream and looking at every single deck list ever imaginable in the world just now. Hope that gives you guys a good idea of what set 4 is shaking out to be. It looks like the Divine decks are, you know, seeing some play, but in general it's still Varga, Shiranui, Shoujo Doji that are the top dog, right? But you know, Divine decks are showing up, which is nice. We'll see if that changes or if it just remains the same over time. And yeah, of course, thank you guys for stopping by. But we'll be back Thursday. It'll be more Night Rose, and we'll talk about some other stuff as well. Some, I guess, financial stuff maybe, but we'll see. And have a good time. Maybe 2 days? I don't know. Probably not. Plays that nowadays. Any case, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your morning, noon, afternoon, what have you. Take care of yourselves and each other. Play Vanguard and have yourselves a damn good one. Yep. See y'all Thursday. Cristiano's promo or we riot.